police are after me again for a crime I don't even believe in. Yeah, the police are after me again. Yeah, the police are after me again for a crime I don't even believe in. Yeah, the police are after me, my friend. The police are after me, she said. Yeah, they held their gun to my head, but somehow I ducked, escaped, and fled the scene. Well, they already ran my ID. Yeah, they already ran my ID. They pulled me off the train in the Portland rain. Mid-November in the warmest ride, and the granary the best place to hide, especially when you're riding suicide. Especially when you're riding suicide. Yeah, the police are after me again for a crime I don't even believe in. Yeah, the police are after me again. Yeah, the police are after me again for a crime I don't even believe in. Yeah, the police are after me, my friend. So I got back on when they were gone on the flagged old gondola. Then I smoked the resin in my bunk cause the police didn't find it. Woke up in a mountain range, woke to a cold, wet, lonesome pain. And then the time it came to get the fuck off the train because the police are after me again for a crime I don't even believe in. Yeah, the police are after me again. Yeah, the police are after me, my friend, for a crime I don't even believe in. Yeah, the police are after me again. She said the police are after me for being dirty, trespassing. They hate me cause I ain't clean, but I think they're the ones who are dirty.
Okay, let's do this. Holy shit. Welcome, folks, to the Garret Schuelke podcast. I am your host, Garret Schuelke, and I am once again back here in Kalamazoo at the Park Trade Center, Elmblad Media Group Studios, with Zach Elmblad. Zachary, how you doing, friend?
I'm doing pretty good, man.
Yeah, let's pretend we just haven't been talking for the last 20 minutes.
See, no, that's the super special thing. It's like maybe someday you'll have like special edition podcast, like the Patreon version or something, and like you can just actually record the first 45 minutes of you like getting up to speed with somebody.
The Patreon episode where we just talk shop. Right. You can hear me, and folks, you can hear me rant about shitty self-publishing services like Lulu and Amazon Smashwords and how they just have these stupid fucking standards that really don't make sense. You know, if like me, your philosophy is all about facts and logic.
Yep, and you would have seen me loading my electronic nicotine device that's soon to be banned by our lovely state of Michigan.
Yeah, you are just going to be stockpiling that shit soon. Actually, I probably shouldn't say that on a podcast.
Right? No,
you get your door kicked in.
I think the idea is that I stop using nicotine. I think.
Well, it says this product contains nicotine.
It does contain nicotine.
Nicotine is an addictive chemical, according to this.
I was warned, and I did it anyway. And I feel like that was an adult decision that should be respected by our fucking governor.
Well, soon for our fucking president, too. He wants to ban it, which really surprised me.
Right? Well, why don't they ban cigarettes? You know? So, like, I saw a Facebook post of Debbie Stabenow at some orchard holding a bottle of wine, and so I just couldn't help myself, dude. I was like, are you holding that spoiled grape poison to show Gretchen Whitmer that we need to ban it immediately? Because clearly banning things helps, you know? Ugh.
Well, as I've been seeing for Facebook posts, you know, they're quicker to ban flavored vapes than they were to fucking change the pipes in Flint.
Yeah, or you know, Line 5 has like a patch of unsupported pipeline that could collapse at any moment directly below the Mackinac Bridge.
You alarmist.
Right?
Here at the Garret Schuelke podcast, we support large Canadian corporations that could possibly destroy our entire ecosystem because it creates jobs.
Yep.
And we all know that's what really
Canada.
matters in life.
Jobs in Canada.
You know, it's one of the funniest, stupidest things I've ever seen in a comment section. I regret to this day that I didn't like screenshot it. Some fucking boomer went on there and claimed that oil spills were not a problem at all in the Great Lakes. You know why? Because oil is natural to our ecosystem. You know, you find it in the soil, and it will just sink back into the soil.
Yes,
no problem.
You know, water does float on oil. I forgot about that.
Yeah, so
this guy's clearly right. Yeah. I mean, that's only fresh water and not salt water.
No, you see, the oil will sink through the fresh water. Like, you know how you throw a rock, it'll go to the bottom?
Yeah, I mean,
oil will do the exact same
if
thing.
you throw a plant or a dinosaur, it'll sink as well, right?
Yeah. And the difference is that once oil hits the bottom, it will then, sink, it'll absorb back into the soil and just be right there waiting again.
Yep.
God, I wish I would have screenshot that comment. It's the most perfect things I've ever seen in my life.
Did you catch any of the Senate hearing with that child, Greta?
No,
whose last name I can't remember.
No, but I have heard about it.
Okay, yeah, it's great, dude. Because they're trying to be, like, cutesy with her, and she just fucking shuts them down. She's like, don't patronize us. Like...
Well, she's finished, too, right?
Exactly, yeah,
so,
yeah.
So she's got the,
like this,
do not patronize
that. Well, trust me, so my recent flights, my layovers were in Copenhagen and Stockholm. And so I know all about the, like, condescending Scandinavian English accent. It is funny.
And it's for us Americans. It's just us imitating Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yes.
Shaw, get in the chopper. Well, he's Austrian.
He's Austrian, yeah. That's Eastern European.
But anyway, it's been epic hearings.
What's epic now? I lost my train of thought.
Are you high?
I'm always high.
No, we're talking about the young climate change.
Oh
activist.
yes. Okay, yeah. So yeah, she
who told these shitheads in Congress who are trying to talk shit to her, don't patronize me.
Yes, exactly, and it's just very impressive. She's very well spoken for a child, and like I don't know if she's coached or like what her story is.
Well, if you listen to the conservative media, then yeah, she's totally coached.
Yeah, presumably. I mean, you don't just throw a 10-year-old, 12. I don't know how old she is.
You could,
but
I guess they could if they're really passionate about a subject.
That's true. I mean, I guess I could talk at length about things that I was into. Like, if you had asked me about the Beatles when I was 14 years old, like I could have given you life stories of each member, like all like the chronological order of their albums, like anecdotes from the studio. Like I had read probably maybe 30 or 40 books about the Beatles. Like, so
yeah,
if I was educated about
can you imagine that hearing? Oh, little Zachary.
Yeah.
Can you
What's Ringo Starr's real name?
Can you tell us about John Lennon or John Lemon? That's actually a meme, by the way. You ever see that picture where he's like in a cowboy hat? He's like doing this big stride or something. John Lennon?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, they made that into a meme called John Lemon.
Huh.
Ooh, little Zachary, I bet you think Paul's dead too.
Oh, I could have told you all about that too. I would have known at the time the name of the radio DJ because that happened in Michigan. Like that story was out of like a radio station in Detroit that broke that. Yeah, definitely.
I actually watched a video recently where it's like a 30-minute video that went into the entire theory, the entire story. Holy shit.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
It's one of those things where like it has you convinced up until the creator of the video tells you why it's bullshit.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is why those videos are so good.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, no, if I was that age, I probably could have talked to you in length about Sonic the Hedgehog.
Sure.
Sir, don't you patronize me. Sonic the Hedgehog could go faster than the Flash any day of the week. Which, as much of a fanboy of Sonic that I am, no, he can't beat the fucking Flash in a race. Not possible. No. Anyway, you know what? You just spoke about how you went on a trip.
Yes.
I went on a trip. And you know what? This all happened in the summer. It is now September. The end of September, in fact. So, folks, I'm sad to say, but the summer has ended.
Summer's dying.
The summer ends, which is the name of this podcast.
Summer ends. So, there's a Lansing band called Summer Dying that I saw several times when I was a young man, like, at a venue I think we've talked about on this podcast in Kalamazoo called The Space. And, I just noticed that some of their catalog was finally put up on YouTube, and like there's a history of YouTube comments of me like people posting like live footage from back in like 2001 or 2, and me being like, please, band members, put your discography online, right? And so their second album still isn't up, but their first album is up in its entirety. So I've been really pumped because I've been able to stream that. Very good. So you say summer. Anytime someone talks about like summer fading fast, or like the embers of summer, or like the boys of summer. Exactly. Yeah, all that stuff, man. I don't know. I know you're grinning, so I don't know what
the boys of
that
summer. Is. Don Henley did that song, I think. I can see you. Your fresh something shining.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The Ataris did a cover of it, which is the one I love.
Yeah, okay, I know that song. Yes, that song.
The boys of summer have gone.
I didn't know that's the name of that tune. That's good. Oh man, I think we might have also talked about this on the podcast before. Like, one of my ex-girlfriends made me like a sappy mixtape of like post-pop punk rock tunes like that. Like the cover of 99 Luft Balloons by some fucking.
Well, it could have been worse. She could have made you like a post-grunge violation, and it's all Nickelback and all that shit.
Anyway, that tune was on there. The Atari's cover.
Nice.
Yeah.
But this title I take more from a band called American Football that have a song called "The Summer Ends."
Huh. It's a common topic, even in mythology.
Yeah.
You know, what is the name of the god? Is it? Oh, I don't even know. I shouldn't have even brought this up because I can not speak confidently about it. But I know that there's a Greek god that is associated with like harvest and grain, and so once a year she's held captive by Hades.
Hera?
Sure. I thought Hera was Zeus's wife.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. I want to say Persephone, but I don't.
Hera, who's technically one of the... She's not a dude, but she's one of the greatest cucks in mythology. Right. She stayed with Zeus despite him boning everything in existence.
Yep, in animal form.
Yeah, that too. But the summer has ended. And one thing I want to talk about is that you and I both went on epic European adventures this summer.
Yours was more epic than mine, I think. But
we'll let the listeners decide.
All right.
And let's have you go first. I mean, I know you talked about it with me for a little bit. I forget exactly where. You said that you went to some nether regions, which I assume was like a chick you met.
No, I went to the Netherlands.
Oh, yes, my mistake. Big difference.
Which is different than going to Holland, right? Which they'll tell you all about if you go there.
Yeah, that was a joke, folks. But I thought you were going to Norway at first.
No, I flew on Scandinavian Airlines, and I had layovers in Sweden and Denmark. So I was technically in Scandinavia, and I certainly flew over Norway twice. That definitely happened. And the plane was nice because there was like, you could actually get live cameras that pointed down and straight forward, so you could kind of see stuff.
Well, let's start at the beginning. Okay, so you went to the Netherlands.
Yes.
How long have you been wanting to go to this place? Yeah, go to this place, yes.
Well, see, we kind of went on a nerd voyage. It wasn't necessarily like an intended destination. Like, I haven't just been like pawing to get to the Netherlands. Like, I was in Amsterdam Schiphol Airport on layover when I was on my way to Egypt a long time ago, when I was 20. And, I always wanted to go back, so I guess you could say I've wanted to go back for about 14 years. But we actually went to go see a concert, and so, like, the location was kind of irrelevant. It was more about that.
Well, you keep saying we. So
I went with my brothers and my middle brother Danny's girlfriend Jordan.
Okay, so what was that? That's about you, your brother and his wife, and you got 2 other brothers, right?
I have a total of 2 brothers.
Okay, so that's like 4 people there.
Yes, we traveled as a quartet.
Okay, and how was the flight over? Like, how long did it take?
It was like 8 hours. We took the Arctic Circle route to Stockholm, and then we had maybe a 45-minute layover and flew to Amsterdam Schiphol, and then got on a train to Amsterdam city center, stayed for like 8 hours, smoked a joint, ate some mushrooms.
What? Oh, God. Stop going so forward. Okay, well, what airline did you?
Scandinavian Air, SAS.
Okay, when I flew, I went Delta, so I was expecting like some American airline.
Oh,
like Spirit Airlines. I've heard that's really good.
No, I would never fly on Spirit again, dude. It's worth another $100.
You can go to Amsterdam for $25.
Fuck that. You'll sit on a plastic chair for 16 hours after a 14-hour delay. Like, they'll lose your baggage. Everybody will be puking. There'll be 20 crying babies and 5 dogs. You don't fly on Spirit. Gross.
All right, you know what?
It's a Greyhound in the sky.
Okay, I keep saying Netherlands, and knowing me, I'll probably fuck up. Be like the city of Netherlands. Well, okay, you went to the Netherlands.
Yep.
Where did you guys go exactly?
Our final destination was a city in the south called Tilburg, which is kind of like a meme to Dutch people. Like
well, do tell me.
So apparently, like at some point in history, like the Netherlands were absorbed by Holland or something like that. And forgive me for my lack of knowledge about Dutch history.
We're Americans. We can literally do whatever we want, including for not knowing shit, forgetting shit, being rude.
Right. Anyway, we were in a district called North Brabant or Brabant, and it's kind of considered like hillbilly town from like places like Amsterdam and Rotterdam, which are like these big modern European cities. And so it was kind of like a little village, but it's about the size of Grand Rapids, so it's not like a small hamlet, you know.
Hey, Grand Rapids, second biggest city in Michigan.
Exactly. Like this
that's pretty big.
It was not a small place. And the venue that we went to was easily the size of the intersection, maybe a little bit larger, certainly more well managed.
Fuck the shitter section.
Like, dude, it was a joy going to, like, every process that we had to go to, like standing in line at McDonald's or like getting on a train, like everything was just like very easy and very simple and like non-convoluted, which was nice. But also, like, when you get back to, at least for me, like, my portal of entry is always Chicago, so you end up, like, going from these nice, pristine European cities to, like, getting into that dirt hole
American
station.
hellhole.
Yeah, dude, it's so bad. Like, when you come home, there's just fucking trash everywhere, and everything's rusty and fucking slimy and smelly, and there's graffiti on everything, and, like, fucking homeless people sleeping in windowsills, and you're just like, wow! Oh, I forgot about all this shit. I've been gone for a week.
The freedom of America. Mago.
Oh, God. It's just so... every time I come back, it's worse and worse, man. Because, like, we had the distinct feeling that we were coming to prison. Like, you know, we passed through passport check in Europe, and, like, they literally don't... Like, I went from Sweden to the Netherlands, and you don't get your passport stamped because you're already in the EU. Like, so they're, like, the actual, like, passport control is so pleasant and obviously it's still stressful and shit, and we kind of have the benefit of speaking English, so everybody can, like, know what's going on.
Former guest, Andy Arco, we talked about this a little bit on the last podcast he was on. We talked about his Grand European adventure, and... Well, we talked about it even before his podcast. But I think he said that English is pretty much the universal language
in Europe. Totally, yeah. Well, they'll still. So, like, we even tried to, like, say a few things in Dutch, and they would just laugh in our face and be like, "No, let's just speak English."
Did you have a pocket dictionary? So
yeah, dude, totally. Well, we try. I think it's important to try. I always say that. Like, I learned serviceable Spanish for the only purpose was to try to travel and communicate properly with people. Like, I think it's really important to know a second language, or at least have made an attempt to travel and learn some phrases. Hello, thank you, please. Just the formalities, the formality thing, dude. Because, like, you know, you're a stranger in a strange land. And as easy as it is for Americans to get super ethnocentric and be like, well, you all consume our culture. Like, you know what my deal is, so I can act however I want.
Yeah,
I don't like that.
You know, if your country's so good, why you keep coming to ours?
Exactly.
Checkmate, libtard.
Yeah, well, when I'm traveling abroad, I try to be super respectful, you know, and at the very least, I'm gonna learn how to say thank you in the language of the people who are helping me. Like, it may be too much, you know, but I don't think so. And I think it goes a long way to, like, being a good example of like a good representative of your country too, because a lot of people were saying, hey, like, we have so many bad experiences with Americans visiting the Netherlands to just smoke weed and shit, that, like, it's nice to have insightful, thoughtful, smart people that, you know, will talk to us and, like, answer questions and stuff. Like, we met a lot of people. Like, there was 12,000 people that came from 64 countries to see this concert. So there was people from all the fuck over the place. A lot of English was being spoken. And in that city, basically everyone was saying, hey, you know, everybody that speaks English is, like, wearing this band's t-shirt, and, like, everybody's here to see the same thing. Like, what is the story here? And so there was, like, a lot of open dialogue of people from all over the world just kind of, like, openly talking, and, like, we were all hanging out at the same bars and, like, going to the same events in town. So it was just a really interesting time, and it was not just, like, traveling to another country to, like, go sightseeing. It was more like I went for a really specific thing, which is kind of a different experience for me.
Yeah. Okay, so we've made it pretty clear that you went there for a concert.
Yes.
And we will get to that. But
Sure.
Overall, what did you guys all do there besides the concert? Well, first, how long did you spend there?
I was gone for 6 days, and then there was 30 hours of traveling capped on either end of that. So about 4 days.
So yeah, about over a week.
Oh, way under a week.
Way under. Yeah. Okay, so what did you guys all do there besides the concert?
We went on a canal tour in Amsterdam. We got tattooed. We got matching tattoos.
Wait, oh,
right here.
Yeah, I did notice that one looked pretty new.
Yeah, I still got arm hair shaved. So this is a silhouette of a castle in the cover art of the album that was played in its entirety at the show that we saw.
All right.
And so it is The Electric Castle, which is the name of the record, Into the Electric Castle. And the Electric Castle is also, like, symbolically the recording studio of the artist. And then it's a painting by a guy named Jeff Bertels from Belgium. And he has done all the artwork for the last, like, whatever, 6 albums that this guy has put out. And we went to an art exhibition of his, met the artist, not the artist of the paintings, but the artist that was making the music that we were there to see. And then, like, we bought art books and signed prints and stuff from this guy, and saw, like, his other artwork that's not associated with the album artwork, which was really, really, really cool. Okay. We spent, like, 4 hours in that place.
Okay, so you did that. You went for a canal ride.
Yep. We went to, like, a food truck rally twice. That was cool. But other than that, like, we ate at, like, McDonald's and Subway and Taco Bell and shit. Like, we went to a really nice Italian restaurant in downtown Tilburg the second day
Netherlands,
we were there.
The place to get Italian food in Europe.
We got
fuck you, Italy.
Dutch pancakes when we were in Amsterdam, which is, like, halfway between a normal Western style pancake and crepe. Yeah. So it's kind of like the size of a crepe, but, like, 3 or 4 times the thickness. So it still had, like, risen a little bit like a normal pancake over here. But they put weird shit in it. Like, I had apple and bacon pancakes, which was fucking great, you know.
Well, compared to like, well, okay, they got a little bit artsy there. Whereas here in America, it's just more quantity over quality.
And syrup.
Yeah, no, the stereotypical fat, dumb American just plop it on down.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's really hard to avoid that stuff too, dude.
Actually, last week now, I saw Doug Stanhope here in Kalamazoo at Shakespeare's lower level.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he did 2 shows here in Michigan. Here in Kalamazoo, one up in Traverse City. He was
interesting choice.
Oh yeah, I actually kind of wish I went to the Traverse show, but according to his latest podcast, it stunk because he was like sick or something. But anyway, no, according to him, they stopped at I forget what it's called, someplace up in Cadillac, and he was just seeing like the dead-eyed Michigan people.
Yep.
And just seeing like the shit they eat. And yeah, it's kind of like that with the stereotypical fat American.
Yep. It's hard to avoid. I'm a fat American, dude. Like, I definitely felt that, you know, and you definitely feel the condescension of European people. Like, we're basically still considered a backwater like idealist ruffians, you know.
Stanhope does have a good joke that does involve Amsterdam.
Oh, nice.
I think he was talking about, you know, whole fat. It was about his rant about why we should have universal health care. And he says, like, well, Europe, they got this and that. Well, you know what else they have in Europe? Bicycles. And they use them.
Yes, they do. That's one thing about the Netherlands that's nuts, dude. Like,
yeah, that's one
every road has a bike lane on it.
That's one stereotype about Amsterdam that I do know of, the bicycles.
Yeah, there's a lot of them.
Yeah.
Bicycles everywhere.
Yeah, God, such a tragedy. You know, why can't they have all these cars like we have in America?
Well,
big fucking trucks.
The other thing, though, is that their entire country is like the size of the lower half of the lower peninsula of Michigan. Like, it's like a 1.5 hour car ride from the top of the country to the bottom.
Oh,
so
nice.
Like, you could ride the circumference of that country on a bicycle in a couple of days. Like, it's not that fucking big.
That's
so
awesome.
You can get places really easily. Like, trains are everywhere. You can get a train to every single city.
Oh, how is the trains there? Like, do they have high-speed rail?
Oh, shoot.
Daddy.
Yeah, my dad's calling me.
We'll take a break, folks. We'll be right back. All right, and we're back.
Yep.
Zach just had a very rousing conversation with his father, and he kind of sounded like Stewie from Family Guy. Daddy, daddy, daddy.
Daddy.
Okay, for real.
Never call Kyle Elmblad daddy.
Okay, for real though. Something about like how he wanted to make you a sandwich or something.
Oh, they're making sandwiches, and I often forget to eat, so they like to remind me to do so. Even though I was just talking about being a fat American, it's like I say I forget to eat, but it's like I'll eat a single meal that's 4,000 calories, and then forget to eat for the rest of the.
Yeah, that's kind of my regimen too. Like one big meal, at least on like work days or something.
Yeah.
If I'm on vacation, then I'm eating everything.
Yeah.
And actually, I was checking Facebook. We were talking earlier about that one climate activist.
Yeah.
Yeah, remember when we were talking about like the whole thing about using children for political agendas?
Yes.
Like, is she real or is she being used? I found a perfect right-wing meme, which I was telling you about. If you would describe to the audience what you're looking at.
Wow. Okay. I see some Nazis. I wish that I knew the name of this particular Nazi, but he's standing behind a young girl that looks just like Greta. And then it says in the background of the top half, Nazis used children to perpetuate their agenda. And then the bottom half is like a Hitler Youth poster on the left, and the young girl has braids just like Greta. On the right half or the right quadrant is a picture of Greta, and it says, "Now we know the playbook for the Democrats. Now we know the playbook the Democrats read from."
Keep in mind, this
hilarious.
Greta is not American, so she's not a Democrat.
Yeah, exactly.
But, yeah, this is
just there's so much lack of understanding.
Actually, I got it from one of my favorite tag groups. It's called "That's Not an Actual Problem. You're Just Desperate to Be Oppressed." Anyway, actually, I think that was Himmler.
I think you're right.
Yeah,
Himmler or Goering.
Yeah, he was one of the dudes that. Yeah, he was the dude that like offed himself and his entire family. Right before Hitler. Right before, the Soviets, who actually won the Second World War, not us stupid Americans, basically win and fuck their shit up.
Yeah, we dropped a couple of nasty bombs, and everyone was like, "All right, I'm out."
No, this is the part where I play the Soviet national anthem. Anyway, okay, so. One thing I was surprised when because I follow you on Facebook. I saw the photos and that.
Mm-hmm.
I know how much you're into camping and hiking, nature in general.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was surprised because I don't think I saw anything about that.
Oh no, that was not what we went there to do.
Did you check out any of the forests or the wilderness there?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. We just basically stayed in town the entire time.
Okay.
So it was a different type of trip for me.
All right, let's get into.
I took a shower every day. It was great.
Ew.
Never had to shit in the fucking woods ever the whole time.
God.
But I did have to pay for bathrooms.
Oh God. Wait. You have paid to use the bathroom?
Yeah.
Okay. Go into detail.
Okay. Pay public toilets are definitely a thing.
It was a public toilet.
Yeah. Like the train stations, you would have to put 50 euro cents in a little machine to gain a turnstile access.
Oh, that stuff.
Yep. Or at the food truck festival, there was just a little booth set up, and you would pay €1 and get a day access to the bathroom.
Oh, okay. Oh, so this is public stuff though.
Yeah.
I was thinking the place you were staying at.
No. We stayed at a nice little bed and breakfast that was musician themed, and apparently touring bands stay there often.
Oh.
And the lady who runs it has been in bands since the 90s and stuff.
Oh, so. It was so they had memorabilia from
all
bands.
Yeah.
It wasn't how you see themed restaurants where the employees dress up as that era.
No.
They patronize you.
No, her name was Joyce. She was a real cool chick. She just she's a social worker and just is cool.
She's Ja, have you ever heard of Nirvana?
No, she was really knowledge knowledgeable about
Kurt Kurt Cobain stayed in this room.
Kurt Cuban.
Kurt Cuba Jr. stayed in this room.
American artist Prince.
Did you know Jim Morrison sat in this chair? He died in this chair too.
No.
I think he died in France.
Yeah.
France. They're wrong. Okay, well, right before we get into the concert, the reason you went there, if you would please sate my curiosity, you spent a lot of time in Amsterdam.
Like 6 hours, 8 hours maybe.
Oh, wow, that's a lot less. Please tell me, what was Amsterdam like?
It was cool, man. A lot of people, a lot of bicycles. We took that canal tour, which actually was like really nice. Like they have like a multi-language audio port thing, and you just get headphones, and they have the narration of the tour in like 12 different languages. And so, you just put a headphone in, listen.
Was it like, I guess, good English?
Yeah, totally good
Or
English.
was it like
Perfect
broken English? this refer.
No, it was great. It was very well done.
God.
And like,
I'm sorry, I don't know the Amsterdam accent, so folks, you're gonna have to put up with
I
the.
can't do it. The Dutch accent's fun.
Yeah, you're gonna have to put up with this shitty Arnold Schwarzenegger impression.
It was very good, man. Like it was kind of equal parts like history of the city as well as like an exploration of the unique architectural features.
I was about to say, how was the architecture?
It was really, really cool. Like there's a bunch of like modern buildings that are there, but also the things that really interested me were the bridges and the actual structure of the canal themselves, which are all controlled by this really intricate like sluice gate system, which you saw plenty of examples of. And like all these bridges are from like the 1600s and 1700s, and like they're still taking like semis drive over them and shit. And also what was really interesting is that the buildings, apparently there was a big fire in the same way as like the Chicago fire, like it burnt everything.
Yeah, just destroyed the entire city.
Exactly. And so at that point they made it law that you had to build out of like stone or steel or whatever, like construction materials that would last better than wood and wouldn't burn.
Yeah, I'm sorry to tell you this, citizens, but you cannot build this house out of paper.
Right, yep.
Paper houses are not allowed.
Bricks.
Paper airplanes are cool, but not paper houses.
But at any rate, like most of the downtown buildings were then built in this particular style in like the late 1500s and early 1600s. And so you see all these like really cool designs and balcony forms and like the churches are that like Gothic cathedral style. Like everything was just really cool looking, pretty clean. I mean, the houseboats. That was the other thing. Like the bridges and the brickwork and stuff were really cool, but also like overpopulation, overcrowding in the area. Like they've reclaimed like 70% of the land is like it used to be ocean and like river front. So it's overpopulated.
Well, that may soon be happening again with climate change.
Yeah, well, they're very concerned about that for sure.
Okay, joking aside, is an actual thing, people.
Oh yeah, dude.
I'm sorry to tell you this. Jesus is not causing this.
No,
it's the way we just fucked up everything.
Yeah.
Humanity is a disease.
Kind of.
So says Agent Smith from The Matrix. Okay, let me get into the ugly American question here.
Okay.
A lot of weed in Amsterdam, ain't there?
Not as much as you would think.
Really?
And they're really starting to like. Well, I mean, you smell weed like as you're going down the street. Like people will be smoking weed.
Well, okay. The stereotype I know, of course, is they got the bars, you could say, that they have in.
Yeah, coffee shops.
Yeah, coffee shops. Just a wide variety like they literally have a menu there.
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, I mean, that's the same as like a consumption lounge in Colorado or something like that. Like,
I was saying, yogurt and vaping. What a nice combo to consume right now.
This is how I live. I've been awake for like 2 hours.
It could be worse. It could be like cigarettes and ramen.
Right? I've been at that point in my life as well.
Poor child.
No, they're like that. That's where you go. You go to different places. So there's smart shops. That's where you go to buy shrooms and cactus and shit, and like pills and stuff.
You can buy shrooms?
Oh yeah. I just went into a store and bought an eighth of mushrooms, dude. It was great. It was a British chick working at the counter. Yeah, it was nice.
Like, okay, what kind of drugs can you buy there besides weed?
I definitely saw various cacti. So like San Pedro cactus, like I took in Peru.
Like cacti, so like peyote.
Peyote and stuff. Yeah. There was like 5 or 6 different psychedelic mushroom and.
God, what was that one drug that William S. Burroughs tried to find? Him and Allen Ginsberg did like a correspondence back and forth about it.
Ibogaine? No, that was Hunter S. Thompson making jokes about. No, I don't know, man.
Adrenochrome.
Oh, adrenochrome. No, you cannot buy adrenochrome.
For people who don't know, adrenochrome is like a joke meme drug where they claim like secret societies. Basically, you get high off children's blood or something.
They're adrenaline glands.
Yeah, they're adrenaline gland. Chapo Trap House makes a lot of jokes about adrenochrome.
Yeah, but no, there was like cactus seeds, and you could buy like powdered cactus, and then they had like 5 or 6 different varieties of psychedelic mushroom that you could buy. And then they had like, the pills, like from like gas station, like boner pills and like mini thins and that kind of stuff.
Okay, very quickly, I found it. The Yage letters.
Okay, Yage. That sounds like if it's a like ethnogenic, hallucinogen.
Well, yeah, Burroughs went to South America to like look for it.
Okay.
And this was back in the day when like you couldn't like really be an ugly American unless you were super rich. Mm-hmm. Like you actually had to immerse yourself in the culture and that.
Yeah, to get anything done.
Yeah, like Burroughs actually had to like get out of his stupid fucking CIA looking suit that he wore all the time. And, like actually live among the natives to find this drug they thought would fuck him up more. Anyway, so yeah, just regular shit that we get here, like boner pills, super male vitality, like Alex Jones sells.
Yep, ginseng, little bottles of ginseng and that kind of stuff. And it like, it's weird, like it's all set up like souvenir shops too. Like you can totally tell it's just like we went through the red light district with the naked chicks dancing in the windows and stuff.
We'll get that stuff.
It's also fucking weird and chintzy. Like they're just catering to people that like it's all right there. Like you go to the train station, it's all walking distance, and the rest of the city is like fuck all that.
Wait, so there's literally drugs right at the entrance of the train station.
Oh yeah. Like I mean a 5-minute walk. Perhaps.
Was there, like, any drugs there that shocked you? Like, you couldn't believe it?
No, definitely not.
Okay, and there obviously wasn't, like, hard shit like heroin.
No, certainly not. No,
Like, what is illegal there, I guess? Any idea?
I think all of it is illegal. I like, Dutch law was really confusing, because there was, like, 0 cops, but everything was CCTV monitored, and, like, the cops that you did see were, like, fully armed, like, AK-47, like, fucking police state shit. And so, like...
Well, we are kind of living in a prison planet now.
Kind of. I mean...
Well, we're a little bit less than others, like China, but we're getting there.
We are, dude. I mean, well, like I said, it definitely felt like I was going to prison when I came back here. We're much more overt about it. And I'd say, like, the...
Oh, yeah, we're way more militant.
Yeah, but... Anyway, I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure... Okay. As far as I understand the legality of it, they just let it exist.
Really?
So that way people are doing it in a safe place and, like, they just don't care. That's the thing. Like, they're not making a big deal out of it.
Oh yeah.
So they just let it exist. Take the tax money. Okay.
So it's nothing weird like here in America where like here in Michigan, it's legal now and in other states, but it's still legal under federal law. So like you can't transport it, and there's like shit where like businesses can't open bank accounts and all that. They don't have that kind of shit there.
No, not really. I don't really know much about the back end of it, like how, especially like if they have problems with banking. But I would expect that they don't, because everything seemed a lot more pragmatic in that way. Like our tattoo shop wasn't quite opened yet because they had to have an extra hand sink in order to make code, right? So they do have that type of stuff. Like they're not gonna let you. Like there was postings about like you can't go and buy weed if you're under 18. You can't drink if you're under 18.
I mean, it makes sense.
Exactly, yeah. So there's definitely laws about it, but everybody's just more relaxed. Like, they just let shit happen.
Basically, it's laws that seem to make sense.
Yeah.
And even if you have a problem with it, you can challenge it, but it's reasonable. It's not like here in Michigan where it's like, well, ban flavored vape.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that's exactly what I mean. Like,
damn it.
They're much more pragmatic. Like, a lot more people smoked, but all of the cigarette packs have, like, people with fucking missing limbs and giant abscesses in their teeth and shit.
They even got that in Canada.
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, basically here is the only place you don't see it.
Yeah, we got great icons like Joe Campbell.
Make it child friendly. But of course...
No, those cartoons are totally for adults. What, adults don't like cartoons?
I like cartoons.
Oh, there you go.
It just seemed like people just didn't care. Like, they're like, oh, you went to smoke weed? Cool. Like, how was it? Like, it's not like, oh, you fucking American tourists coming over here and just fucking smoking up all our weed.
Oh, wait, didn't you say there were some people that kind of thought that?
All of those, when you hear shit like that or it happens to you, it's more like you get passed on the street and, like, you don't know what's going on and people are like, oh, fucking Americans. Like, it's not like you're getting overtly persecuted. Like, when we were on the train, this guy came up and he was speaking Dutch to us and we clearly looked like we were fish out of water. And he's like, oh, English? And we're like, yeah, sorry. He goes, why not Dutch? And so I was like, I'm not smart enough to speak your crazy language. And he seemed like he joked about it, right? Like, it's like really minor condescension. It's not like outright hatred.
It's joking.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, it's all tongue in cheek type stuff.
Kind of like what we do.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Like you make fun of the Dutch people in Grand Rapids for being miserly and like conservative and shit.
Oh, brother. Later on in this program, there is something I want to read to you.
But
we'll get to that. Oh boy, we will get to that.
It's all soft stereotypes, and I think everybody understands what's going on.
Yeah, but you didn't have any major confrontations there or anything?
No.
Okay, I didn't either on my trip, but I only had one real confrontation. That was back when I first visited Toronto in 2010. Mm-hmm. And I don't even remember what led up to it, but me and the one guy at the hostel I was staying at, somehow, it wasn't a full-blown argument, but did get a tad bit heated. We debated, you could say. Then he says, yeah, well, you guys elected George W. Bush. And I'm like, yeah, I know. It fucking sucked. Look at what he did to our country.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, yeah. Like, as if I was going to defend a piece of shit like George W. Bush.
Yeah. Well, your prime minister has been photographed in fucking blackface.
Yeah, that's been going on.
Fuck.
I know. Still,
I'm related to that guy.
Oh, excuse me?
Oh yeah, Justin Trudeau, the Trudeau family. That's my paternal grandmother's maiden name is Trudeau. I'm related to the Trudeaus. Pierre Trudeau.
Holy shit!
He's like Pierre Trudeau is like my second uncle or something like that.
Oh shit!
So I'm a cousin of Justin Trudeau.
Have you ever met any of the Trudeaus?
No, and I've never been in blackface either.
As we know of.
There's definitely photographic evidence of me wearing whiteface. like painting my face completely white.
Oh, I'm about to say, I mean, someone took a picture of you.
No, I just really thought Wes Borland was cool, so when I performed in high school,
that's
I painted
worse than
my
blackface.
face. Well, I was a teenager in the late 90s. That meant I liked Limp Bizkit.
No, actually, he was probably the best member of Limp Bizkit.
Totally.
Think about it.
Absolutely.
He kind of had like a Buckethead feel to him in a way.
Yep. John Otto was a really good jazz drummer too, but
and of course DJ Lethal is a great DJ.
Yeah, sure.
Basically everyone but Fred Durst.
Yeah, Sam Rivers. Sam Rivers, great bass player.
Yeah, everyone in Limp Bizkit but Fred Durst was great.
Fred Durst was great at everything but being a fucking musician. Like, he's a great businessman.
I mean, he's great at wearing hats backwards.
He wormed his way into Carson Daly's heart, like, sat at the VMAs and all that shit. Like, wormed. He's a fucking Jacksonville. He's Florida man. Fred Durst is Florida man.
I think he is from Florida.
He is Jacksonville.
Well,
Florida.
what did Eminem say? So I could sit next to Carson Daly and Fred Durst while they argue who she gave head to first. By who, I mean Christina Aguilera.
Yep. Exactly. It was that weird, like, 1999 MTV. Like, it was the center of the universe.
Yeah,
for
this was before,
our demographic.
and this was before Eminem and Limp Bizkit started beefing.
Yep.
And I could say positively that if there was a fight, Eminem at least at that time could beat the shit out of him.
And record stores were a thing, and like software and internet piracy and music piracy didn't exist. No one had the internet. Like, I got the internet in 1996, and it was considered such a weird, fucking nerdy thing to have. Like, people would make fun of you. Like, there was this kid in my class that used to, like, air type in front of him and be like, need more gigabytes. Oh, and that was like a bullying insult toward me. Like, oh, what are you going to do? Go home and go online and be on your fucking computer? You're going to check your email?
Yeah. It's like, oh, you go rewatch Hackers?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I loved that movie.
Mess with the best, die like the rest.
I always wanted an operating system to look like those things, too. Like, they're even
and I, too, also want, like, a really hot chick like Angelina Jolie that could hack.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that is not the reality for anyone.
No, it's usually girls with sausage thighs squeezed into fucking vinyl clothing that's 2 sizes too small.
And they're SJWs.
That's a new thing.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, let's get back to Amsterdam. Okay, we talked about drugs and how you totally did not go there for drugs.
No, I didn't, but
even though you like to consume drugs, you did not go to a place known for drugs to consume drugs.
No, I did not. That was not the intended purpose of my trip.
But let's go on to the second one. The Red Light District.
Okay, yeah.
So, what was that like?
Well, we kind of stumbled upon it accidentally. Like, we were just looking on Google Maps at, like, shit to go look at because we only had a couple hours. And so I was like, hey, look, a sex museum. So, like, we went to the door of the sex museum, and then all of a sudden, like, we walked down this alleyway, and there's just, like, a bunch of fucking windows with naked chicks dancing in them. And, like, you look over, and you're like, holy shit, that's a naked woman. Cool. And then they're, like, trying to get you to come in and shit, and it's like, oh, dude, I don't have time to fuck. Like, I got a train to make.
I thought you guys were, like, just looking around, and you see a sign that said Red Light District.
No,
And you're like, oh, it's a district full of red lights. Let's go see the red lights.
Nothing like that. Like, we just turned down an alleyway, and all of a sudden there was just tits in my face, and it was cool. I was like, hey, awesome, here we are in the famous red light district.
Nice. Of course, you still have this book. I lent you to it.
Mm-hmm.
I lent you to it? Mm. No, it's Violent J's memoir.
Yes, I've read maybe 25 pages of it.
Get to it, dude.
I know, I got so many books to read.
But they talked about their European adventures, and you talked about, of course, hitting Amsterdam. And basically, Twisted just got blown out on weed. That was their big thing. Mm-hmm. And Violent J was just hitting up the red light district like that. And according to him, there was everything. White chicks, black chicks, skinny, fat, you name it.
Definitely.
And so there was that variety.
Oh, yeah, certainly. Most of them were, like, Mediterranean-skinned, with, like, classic European body type, like, sort of wide hips and, like, a little extra padding.
basically
Beautiful women.
Here in America, we call it BBW, or the latest internet thing, thick.
Yeah, kind of.
With all the C's.
They look like Brazilian or like,
basically they look like healthy women.
Yes, healthy women who presumably in this case have like workers' rights and fucking health tests and stuff.
And eat a balanced diet.
Yeah.
And they don't like do stuff to their bodies that are harmful.
Well, a lot of them were smoking. They're just like chain smoking in their little cubicle thing.
No, I mean like shit like say supermodels or something.
Yeah, no, they did not look bulimic.
Stick the fingers down the throat.
No, I had to do that. I had to puke.
I did that before too, but that's because I was trying to not be sick.
Yeah,
not so I could get a modeling contract.
Oh, dude, we ate this thing called Capsalon while we were in this tiny city, or it seemed tiny to us, called Gorancham, where we got our tattoos, and it was like shawarma meat with a bunch of cheese melted on top of French fries, and it was just a total gut bomb, dude. I felt sick for an entire day.
I'm getting sick just hearing that description.
It was so greasy.
And that sounds like something I would eat.
It was good, but
okay, you did not fuck at the red light district.
No, I did not. There was not enough time.
Sad.
Yeah, well, honestly, I would have. Like, I was kind of talking about doing so. Our original plan was to stay in Amsterdam for a day or two, but we ended up getting this sweet deal on an Airbnb, so we just went straight to the city that we were staying in. I'm glad that we did it that way. But our original intention was to stay in Amsterdam first, then Rotterdam, then go to our intended destination. And so, had we stuck to the original plan, I probably would have hit up the red light district just because it's been a while, So, like, why not? Like, that's what that's for, right?
I feel ya.
Yeah, bro. Like, but I don't know. I have a similar stance on it. Like, why not let chicks have us pay them to have sex with them? Like, I think that's okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Sex workers are
exactly.
workers.
Yeah, and especially they're treated with respect.
That's good.
You have to use a condom. Like, it's all very, and it's the same thing with the weed. They're like, well, people are going to do this anyway, so we just want to make it safe for everyone involved.
There's actual protection.
Yeah, dude.
And the law is against them, so they have to do dangerous shit. Like here in America.
Exactly.
Like, we got, I think it's called Foster or something. It basically makes it so that services like Craigslist and Backpages, which was a shithole anyway, basically made it so that if there was like prostitution or child exploitation, those sites got blamed for it, even like they didn't post the content themselves. So those places are all shut down, and a lot of sex workers have had to like go back on the street or go back to pimps. First of all, fuck pimps, fuck madams. Sex workers should kill them all and take over.
Yeah, dude. Well, I mean, there should be rights for these people. It's a fucking job.
Yeah, it's another thing, like, as you said, reasonable laws.
That's what I mean. Yeah, dude. Everything's pragmatic and reasonable. And I actually had a really long conversation with a Dutch guy, and basically to the end of my centrism almost, where it's like, what I want to see in United States politics is the introduction of a third party, and I think that's my biggest goal or my biggest thought about the entire process is that it's gonna mire everything up so you don't get such dramatic swings with as the parties balance.
We do have technically third parties, but
a viable third party.
Well,
a third party
that's
that
the word,
something.
viable.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's what I want to see. And he was basically saying, it's multi-party politics that allow them to have their progressive laws, and it's also, it takes them forever to make a decision. And he's like, but I think that's a good thing because it means that they're going to consult more experts, they're going to take a longer time to make important decisions.
Yeah, whereas here in America is just like, boom, there you go. Ban flavored vapes.
Exactly, dude. And that's what we were talking about. That's how we started the conversation.
And even other shit like gay marriage, for example. Before it got signed nationwide, I remember California legalized it, and a bunch of people got married. But then they made it it was against their constitution or was some shit.
Yeah.
And then, boom, all those people that were married, their marriages were invalid. Imagine how you felt if If you
Yeah.
got married, then the state just told you, yeah, you're not actually married.
Right, and you're just trying to marry the person you
Yeah,
love,
but there you go. It's just these fucking laws where, like,
yeah.
you can blink and it could just change.
Yeah, and it's arbitrary and oppressive, man. And, like, there is no, like, thought put behind some of these things. Like, we don't discuss it. There's no open forum. Like, you have these Senate hearings where they put an 11-year-old up there and she has to tell these fucking Congress people to act their age.
Well, yeah. And it's actually the same thing with, like, the Parkland kids.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Moore, in his latest documentary, 11-9, which is a horrible title, by the way. Yeah. He should have just called it, like, Trumped or something.
Yeah.
But anyway,
That's a much more Michael Moore title right there.
Yeah, but he was talking about the Parkland shootings. It included, like, footage of the Parkland kids and activists, like David Hogg and the girl, the woman there, who was, like, the bald Latina.
Yeah.
I forget her name. But, yeah, it's just all these shithead senators and congressmen just belittling them, saying, like, well, you see, when you grow up, you'll realize, blah, blah, blah. It's like, yeah, you really think they're going to vote for you after you did that shit? Fuck you, you stupid piece
I
of
think
shit.
Congress people in the United States don't understand that we all just hate them.
Well, yeah, it's also the whole age thing, you know, like millennials, Gen Z, Zoomers, whatever the fuck they're called. Yeah, where the fuck you youngsters call yourself these days?
Right.
We're millennials. But,
I'm not a millennial.
Wait, you're not?
I don't think so.
Wait, what year were you born?
1985.
Yeah, you technically are.
Okay,
I
thought
was born in
it depends on what you read.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
It's all arbitrary, and it's mostly focused on white people.
Yes, exactly.
But but it's just these fucking baby boomers. Shut the fuck up, boomer.
Yeah, that shit is getting really irritating.
Yeah.
Like the old remnants of 1950s.
Oh yeah, they're all
fake U.S. culture.
Well, it's the same thing like what I heard with like a lot of the alt-right neo-Nazi stuff you hear right now. It looks bad. It is bad, but it's basically them dying out.
Yeah,
this is like their last embers. And
well, skinheads were a thing in the late 90s and in the 80s and stuff. Like,
yeah, but all this stuff that you see with like Patriot Prayer and Proud Boys, they're all dying out and they're lashing out before they finally take their last breath.
Well, I mean, the shit's retarded. You know?
Oh, totally.
It's really
and
stupid.
it's the same thing with baby boomers. That's why you see them not giving shit about climate change or like mass shootings because like, fuck it, I'm not gonna be here. Fuck you.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't think there's really any help or benefit in dividing things along generational lines usually, but I think it's a mentality that's symptomatic of people that age.
Well, yeah. Plus, it's an American way of looking at things.
That too.
We
Yeah,
love
certainly.
to divide shit. I mean, obviously they do in Europe too. I mean, I went to London. And I saw pro and anti-Brexit stuff. We'll get to that in my portion of my adventures. But again, it's not as bad compared to America. A tad bit more reasonable.
Yeah.
Well, especially with Brexit. If you pay attention to that, it's like, holy shit. But then again, that's a real thing. It's not like here, it's a real problem there. Unlike here in America, where it's like, our president drew a Sharpie into a state that he claimed a hurricane was going to hit, that actually did not hit. That's what we get.
He's just a joke. The American politics to everybody else in the civilized world is a fucking joke.
I like how you call it civilized world because that's how I view it as well.
Yeah.
I mean, I even view Canada as more civilized, and their prime minister was caught doing blackface.
Yep. Well, I mean,
in 2001, around 9/11.
Oh, yeah. Well, and he's he was like a teacher at a prep school or something like that at the time. So he's 25, 26.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's terrible, but not as bad as in America, where like you'll get some right-wing shithead do and be like, "Oh, you triggered libs? Free speech."
Exactly. I'm certain that Justin Trudeau didn't put on black. Like it was part of a costume, and at least in my perspective, like it kind of made sense. Like, you know, he's trying to be Aladdin. right?
Yeah.
And it's a party that's themed Arabian Nights, and so he's just going all out and showing school spirit and stuff. You can see that it came from a place of like trying, like he was not overtly trying to be offensive or racist, and it's more of
has he like apologized for that?
Oh God, over and over, yes.
Okay,
over and over.
At least he kind of realized, like, oh boy, I fucked
Yeah,
up that.
well, yeah, but that's the thing is that back then it wouldn't have been an issue, right? Like you wouldn't have been putting on brown makeup, going, "Oh man, every fucking liberal person in my country is gonna hate this."
Oh yeah,
you know,
it's still offensive. It's still demeaning, and definitely not take away from the struggles or the offense of anyone.
But it's more like our understanding has evolved of it. You know?
Yeah. Plus, again, we're comparing America to Canada. Imagine if Trump wore blackface. Can you imagine?
He wears orange face. He wears Cheeto face.
Imagine if he combined the two. Just this weird,
just rubbing Cheetos
this
all over
weird alien. Fake news.
FakeNews.com.
Okay, last thing about the red light district.
Okay.
I heard this from another friend here in I'm burping. This Evian water. If I was drinking smart water, I wouldn't be burping. Anyway, no, I have a friend here who back when I first met him, did a lot of travel in Europe, including Amsterdam.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I think he has like citizenship in the UK. I think his mom lives there.
Nice.
But yeah, he told me one time about how like he was walking through a red light district and he saw a tourist try and take a picture of one of the dancers, one of the workers.
Mm-hmm.
She threw urine at him. You ever see any signs of that?
Well, I had my camera strapped to me,
Ooh,
and like I said, I didn't realize that I was there. So when I did, I just respectfully put my camera down, and I didn't see anything.
Good idea.
You know, well, I just would have done that naturally.
Well,
like, my first inclination is not to just take pictures of everything I see. You know, I'd never do that. You know, and so I always look first and then take pictures later, and I would have never tried to take pictures of the red light district. It's not a thing that would have occurred to me. But I did read ahead of time about stuff.
Or
like
at the very least, like, I don't know, you take a picture of like the entrance that just shows the street. Like you're not gonna get up in their shit.
No way. No.
Well, I think my friend even said like the workers there even just like have bottles of cups of their urine just so like they just.
Man, they need a defense mechanism.
Well, yeah, it's not like they're going to be like, hey, big boy, then see him taking pictures. What the fuck? Grab it and just start pissing.
Well, here you would just be beat halfway to death, presumably by a dirty cop who's working off hours.
I mean, well, yeah, I mean, here too, you could also, I assume that if you jaywalk around here in Kalamazoo now, a cop just comes to put a bullet in your head, I think.
So these new pedestrian laws, dude, I had a mini meltdown on the way up here because there was these bicyclists that had stopped, like, there's a pedestrian crosswalk on Westnedge, which is unfathomably stupid to do. and so, you know, it says local law, stop here, but you're going 40 miles an hour, so you have to slam on your brakes. So basically they were on the sidewalk, which if you're riding a bicycle downtown, you're not supposed to be on the sidewalk. You're supposed to follow traffic rules, right? Yeah. So they decide, as I'm approaching this pedestrian crosswalk, that they want to utilize the pedestrian crosswalk as cyclists. So I stop, being a good person, and then they, like, stood there for a second. So I'm like, fucking Christ, go! Go or don't. Like, I had to stop and inconvenience myself for you already, and now you're going to scratch your ass and debate on whether or not you want to go? So then this guy stops in front of my truck and starts fucking yelling at me. And I'm just like, get the fuck out. Like, truck versus bicycle. Get the fuck away from me, you dumbass.
Did he, like, try to take your picture?
No, nothing like that.
Did he, like, spit on your windshield?
I stopped. He's not even supposed to use the pedestrian. It's not for him. They were not pedestrians. They were riding a fucking vehicle. And so it's like, dude, if you want to be preservation-minded or have bicyclists share the road, I'm all for it. You got to follow the fucking rules, right? Like, I already stopped to, like, in consideration for you improperly using the pedestrian lane, and then you want to fucking sit there? Like, fuck you, dude. I have stopped for you to cross, And now you're gonna stand in front of my truck and dawdle. And then fucking get mad at me when I tell you to fuck off. Like, no, that's not what we're gonna have in this world, dude. Like, I was fucking 3 seconds short of just getting out and beating his ass. Like, that's how fucking irritated I was that I almost desired to turn to violence over this fucking squabble because people are just so clueless about the fucking world around them. That's my point.
Ladies and gentlemen, you didn't get a chance to introduce him properly, but I want to welcome the M Live comments section to the podcast. And
pay attention to the world around you. That's my fucking. That's my point ultimately with this shit.
Okay. Actually, how was bicycles in Amsterdam? Like, the same problem?
They followed the fucking rules, right? Like, they had a dedicated place for bicycles to be, and yeah, you had to look out for them, and yeah, they're not going to stop for pedestrians. But everybody fucking stayed in their lane, literally. Like, there's a lane for bicycles, and that's where they were. So there was no, like, okay, we're going to ride down the sidewalk for a while, and then ride down the opposite side of the street, and then do a circle. Like, none of that shit. They're gonna fucking look both ways before they cross the street. Like, they're gonna stop at stop signs. They're gonna follow the traffic signals. They're gonna fucking pay attention to the world around them, you know? And if a pedestrian is, like, looking up or something, they're gonna use their brakes, or, like, honk with their little ding, ding, ding. Like, people were just considerate of themselves first, but then secondarily everybody else around them too, like existing in the same world as them.
Yeah, I just realized too that since I used to live here and I was really into bicycling when I lived here too, there's probably a good chance I might know the person that you're getting mad at.
It was just like a husband and wife, or a guy and his girl. Like, very
different. It's not a guy with dreadlocks. A white dude with dreadlocks.
No, they were just in my way, and then I think they realized it, and so he just got defensive after the fact and started screaming at me. And it's like, just fucking go, man. All I want is you out of my way. That's all I want in the world. I have
so many good biking stories around here, both with myself and with friends I used to go with, but that's for another podcast. Yeah. You good, dude?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, a little bit hyped up. Take a hit of that flavored vape that's now outlawed here in Michigan.
Yeah.
Calm down.
Fucking cyclists.
Okay, let's get on to happier subjects.
Sure.
The reason you went here, the reason you and your brother and sister-in-law, I believe.
They're not married, but yeah.
Close enough.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Close enough.
Yeah.
And the reason you all went to the Netherlands.
Yes.
Let's hear about this concert.
Yeah. It was Arion is the band.
Arion.
Yeah, but Arion is really just this Dutch guy named Arjen Lucassen and a bunch of guest musicians.
Okay, I have never heard of this.
Most people have not.
Go figure.
Okay. But
so who is this band?
It's a guy.
Okay, who is this gentleman?
Arjen Lucassen. Arjen Anthony Lucassen. That is his name. He was in a band called Vengeance in the 1980s. It was a Dutch power metal band. And then he was in a band called Bodine. And then he retired from performing live and started making these really in-depth science fiction themed rock operas under the name Arion. So in 1998 he released like what was his like breakthrough albums called Into the Electric Castle. And there was like 10 guest vocalists and like a guest flute player, guest violinist, guest keyboard players. You know, he just hired a bunch of musicians to come play his tunes and wrote all this stuff, recorded it in his house, and then went on to make even bigger projects. Like, and in this style of music, prog rock, on that album, the singer of the band Marillion, which is like a famous European band, their singer Fish is on this. And so he, for the 20th anniversary of this album, released a remaster of it. And so in the remaster, if you pre-ordered it, you got access to pre-order tickets to a live show where they're going to do the entire album with most of the original artists live. And so it's strange for Arjun because he doesn't like to perform live, so he hasn't for many years. And in the last few years, he's had enough money and enough success that he could actually organize these shows to be performed largely by other people and then just kind of make guest appearances on them.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So...
Can you imagine if, like, all musicians did that kind of thing?
Yeah, well, I mean, it was worth it. Like, it's good.
Basically, basically you pay someone to cover your stuff.
Well, that's not what it is, though.
Oh,
it was the original musicians that were on the album.
So it wasn't like if Jay-Z wanted to, like, I don't feel like performing.
No, nothing like that.
Hey, guy, here, go out there and be me.
Yeah, no, it's not like that. Like, this music is about all, like, the guests.
Okay.
You know, like, they're all... He takes singers from, like, known bands, and then they guest
so
on
it's like a
his
super
records.
group kind of.
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how did you get into this?
I bought a copy of the album Universal Migrator at Music Express in Kalamazoo.
Music Express?
Yeah. It was a record store that doesn't exist anymore and hasn't for many years, but it was big. It was on West Main, and, like, half of it was homebrew supplies. Half of it was a record store. Like, that's where you would go to get concert tickets for the small shows. Kind of. I mean, the head shop around here was always Glass Onion.
Still around.
Still
great place.
They didn't sell bongs and stuff. They
okay.
only sold homebrew supplies and music.
Okay.
And I think you could get, like, disc golf discs and, like, guitar strings there, but that was just, like, little displays. And anyway, they had a prog rock section, and I would just go in there and buy everything. Like, I would get paid, and, I was, like, 16 years old, so I would just take my paycheck and spend it all on CDs. Like, you had a little stamp card. You'd buy 10 used CDs and get a used CD free. So I bought so many of my favorite albums at that place, dude. And anyway, I bought this. I bought Universal Migrator 1 and 2, which were the albums that came directly after Into the Electric Castle, which is the one we went to go see. And this was right before I flew to Egypt in 2004. And in 2004, he was recording the album that became The Human Equation. And The Human Equation had the lead singer of Opeth in it, Mikael Akerfeld. It had the lead singer of Dream Theater, James Labrie. And it had the man, Devin Townsend, which was the lead singer of Strapping Young Lad, but had also started releasing solo albums under his own name, Devin Townsend. And so these were, like, my three favorite singers at the time. And so on their individual websites, it was like a little blurb, like, hey, we're on this Aryan album. And I was like, oh, I just fucking bought that, right? So I brought Universal Migrator, the CD, with me to Egypt. It was one of, like, the 5 CDs that I brought with me. And, like, I was listening to it on the plane ride home, and then Human Equation came out, like, 3 weeks later, and I bought it on the day it came out at Music Express, which was, like, the thing you would do, right? You'd go over there at, like, 9:30, and they would open at 10, and there'd be, like, 15 people there to buy the same CD that you were because it was being released that day. And so no one was there to buy fucking Arion. Like, I bought it. And I think I had to pre-order, like, I had to tell them to order it for me so that it would be there on release day. And I got it. I loved it. I listened to it. I shared it with my friends. My brothers started getting into it because they heard me listening to it all the time. I'd come to pick them up from school, and I'd be listening to The Human Equation. This is, like, my top 10 albums of all time, right? And I got into it that way, and I've just followed, like, this is, I wrote him fan mail after the follow-up to The Human Equation.
This was back in the day when, like, they had fan clubs and, like, P.O. boxes.
Yeah, well, he wrote me back, dude. I have it still. It's not here. It's at home.
Oh,
but,
shit.
Yeah. Actually, it might be in the frame behind my copyright up there for whatever happens, because I think that's the same frame that I used. Anyway, I have his response to me, like, it was the first and only time I've ever written a fan letter, and it was also the only time I ever got a response too. So
was it written back in English?
Yeah. Everyone in the Netherlands speaks English. It's, like, taught compulsory in school.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. All right. So how was the show?
It was great. It was absolutely wonderful. We The venue was really well managed. We purchased VIP tickets, which entailed like we got an hour early entry, and then they gave us like a little goodie bag with like a CD and a T-shirt and like a bracelet and a lanyard, a couple other things. We got an hour early in there, so we didn't have to wait in the big ass line, and like we got a good spot to stand in. The show itself was put on really well. Like all of the performers did great. The light show was good. There was like screens with visualization effects put on. The whole thing was filmed and audio recorded, so it'll be released in like a year or so as a 5.1 audio mix and a live concert Blu-ray.
Nice.
So yeah, I mean, and he's done this. This is the third set of shows that he's done. The first one that they did was the Human Equation Live, and then they did something called the Arion Universe. So it was like this guy he's got like maybe 20 albums, and some of them are under Arion. Like when it's like a certain storyline, he'll release it under Arion. But there's also Star One and Stream of Passion and Guilt Machine and his own solo album, which he releases under his own name. So like there's a whole universe of storylines, and like each one of those storylines has particular artists that will play on those records. And
So yeah, when I think progressive rock, I think of like Rush.
Yeah.
Are they similar?
Yeah, Rush is kind of a poor example because no one in Rush has been on an Arion record, but like if you had said yes,
Imagine
or
if Neil Peart was on that.
well, he wouldn't, because he always uses the same drummer. But who he would probably use would be Geddy Lee to like make or Alex Lifeson would contribute a guitar solo. That's the type of stuff that happens.
Well,
with
to
this
quote
band.
to quote a takeaway skit from Family Guy, God, there's no better drummer than fucking Neil Peart.
That's false. It's definitely false. But the keyboard player from Yes and the keyboard player from Emerson, Lake and Palmer, like those guys have guested on these records. God, who else? Like Bruce Dickinson from Iron Maiden sang on one.
Oh, shit.
Kimo Codipelto from Stratovarius, which is another really popular like power group in Europe.
Yeah, these are all European. They ever get like an American music?
Yeah, I mean Devin Townsend is from Vancouver, so not American, but Canadian.
Close enough.
Yep, exactly. Vancouver might as well be fucking Seattle.
Don't tell them that.
Yeah, Jordan Rudess is an American musician, keyboard player from Dream Theater. He was on one of these records. There's a couple of the smaller, lesser-known artists that were United States artists, but yeah, he pulls people from all over. It's just his own personal taste in music. He just contacts people he likes.
Did you ever get a chance to meet him at the show? Like, they have a meet and greet?
Yeah, the events beforehand, we met him at the art gallery. He was there when they opened up, and he just shook everybody's hand, and then he hung around outside and took pictures with people for like an hour or so.
Did you talk to him?
I just thanked him.
Oh, did you tell him like, hey, I wrote to you back in the day?
No, I was in a line of a bunch of people. Like I didn't want to do all that shit. I wanted to shake his hand, thank him, and then move on. Plus, I respect the guy. Like, I know that he doesn't he loves interacting with his fans,
but he doesn't want like a fanboy. Like,
exactly.
I'm your biggest fan.
Right. Like he gave my brother's girlfriend a hug, and like, he's just a really personable, nice guy.
Give you a hug though?
Well, I don't need a hug from him. I don't care. I just shook his hand. It's enough for me. Like I communicated to the man that I respect what he's done and that it was impactful to me. All that took was a look in the eyes and a thank you and a handshake.
A firm manly handshake.
He had soft hands. He was a very nice man.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah.
All right. So
it was a good show.
All right. So anything else with your trip there that you want to tell?
The tattoo experience was a lot of fun. The girl Bianca that did our tattoos, like she was just moving out from being like like an assistant tattoo manager at a place in Rotterdam, and she had just got her own shop, and like everything was brand new. Like they had just painted the walls, like the chairs that we sat in were brand new. The tattoo machines, it was her first time using them, so it was like up and coming tattoo artist, and she like her whole family was involved. Like her kids were there, her boyfriend came in. He was from Suriname, and like he was really nice to us, and we all kind of had a broken English conversation. And like the owners of the building that she was renting came by to say hi, and then her sister came over with her husband. It was like, hey, the Americans are here. Like everybody come swap stories, and like they're like, oh, I lived in Detroit for a couple of years. Like how's that changed? And it was just cool.
Oh, do we have something to tell you?
Yeah, exactly. I was like, well, I hate to let you know. But no,
So,
it was great.
Good trip overall.
Mm-hmm.
Would
Great
do
trip.
again?
Oh, yeah, totally. I would do it again. If they have another set of shows in Tilburg, I'll probably go.
All right. Actually, I had a similar experience with a similar musician. Mm-hmm. I told you a little bit about him before. Mm-hmm. His name is Matthew Good. Mm-hmm. He's an alternative rock musician from Canada.
Right.
And, yeah, I've traveled to Canada, Ontario province, 3 times to see him. First time was in Hamilton, and second time was, what is it called? It starts with C.
Chatham, Kent?
Yeah, Chatham. Chatham
Yeah.
went there with him and Our Lady Peace. They were doing a tour together, which is hilarious because they used to hate each other back in like the 90s. But it was more like a one-sided rivalry. Like Matthew Good hated them, and they were just kind of like,
Who's this?
Wait, why do you hate us? Seriously?
Yeah.
I guess they've made up now. It does help too at the time that Matthew Good at the time was like undiagnosed bipolar. So that probably had something to do with it too.
Right.
And the final time was earlier this year in March. Went to Toronto to see him. So yeah, I do have a similar experience. He's one of my all-time favorite musicians.
Yeah. And it's always good to go see someone you really like. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I mean, the last time I went, they asked me like, "Oh, what are you doing here?" I told them, "Oh, I'm here to see Matthew Good. Gonna make a weekend out of it." When I came back, they asked the same thing. He's like, "Oh, you didn't see Drake?" I'm like, holy shit, Drake was performing this weekend? No, I don't know. I was just joking. I'm like, well, yeah, I know you are, but I legit would see Drake.
Yeah, why not? Drake's good too.
But he's probably like super expensive compared to Matthew Good.
Probably.
Yeah. But if I suggest you check him out. He's pretty good.
Okay.
Both his solo work and as part of the Matthew Good band. But and this was a great comparison. I read it. Well, I found like first I was looking to see like if he had a podcast or something, which he doesn't have. He has appeared on some. There was like this geek podcast that decided like do a retrospective on him, and one of the hosts compared him of all people to Morrissey.
Huh.
And I was like, oh, that's bullshit. I listened to their reasoning. I'm like, yeah, I can kind of see that why. Because he's very politically active. He's very outspoken. The only difference is that he's way more chill than Morrissey. And he's not a right-wing nationalist piece of shit like Morrissey is. Yeah. All right. I guess we'll talk about my trip.
Yeah.
I went to it in June. And I went to London.
London town.
Wait. Oh, shit. No, it wasn't Chatham that I went to. It was London, Ontario. God damn it.
That's funny. Well, they're close by.
I know. But, yeah, I went, my very first ever overseas trip, first time in Europe, went to London. One reason I went, because I knew they speak English.
Yes. That's helpful.
I know, so that is one thing I'm going to have to get over, but I really was kind of afraid of, like, going to a country where, like, English is not the primary or whatever, and just not understanding anything.
It's tough, man. It causes a lot of frustration, but you just have to deal.
Yeah, you know? Yeah, but you dealt with it pretty well.
I have, yeah. Well, my first experience was fucking Arabic, and like I still to this day I don't know anything in Arabic, and like if I hadn't had people with me when I was in Egypt, I would have fucking died.
Oh, Egypt. Yeah, totally not Iran.
No. Well, they don't speak Arabic in Iran. They speak Farsi. So,
dude, come on, we're American. Let's not. Let's ignore all that.
Well, see, that's the thing, though, is that like.
Plus, we're probably gonna go to war with them soon, since we're sending troops to Saudi Arabia now.
We've had troops in Saudi Arabia.
Well,
forever.
we're sending more, and if you remember how the Gulf War started.
Yeah, that's not good. That's not good.
Which is strange because I was kind of thinking we were gonna go to war with Venezuela first.
Yeah,
but
that seemed likely.
No, we're shifting back to Iran now.
Better than China. Well, it's good.
Oh, fuck.
I don't want to see the buildup of U.S. forces abroad, period. Like, it's time for us to fucking mind our own business.
Oh, yeah, we should take all our bases pretty much everywhere out of the world.
Yep.
Anyway, let's not talk about the future apocalypse here.
Right.
Let's not talk about World War III. No, let's talk about my trip to London.
Sure.
Went on Delta. I upgraded my seat, not to first class, but whatever they call it, that's in between first class and coach.
Plus or whatever.
Yeah, something like that.
You get like comfort
plus. Yeah, and that was a good thing because holy shit, 6 hours each way, and
dude,
no matter. And they had TV there, so I could like watch movies and shows and that. Mm-hmm. But despite that, and even it was great food that they had on. Yeah. Despite all that, holy shit!
It's just miserable.
I know.
Sitting in a fucking steel tube for many hours is just miserable. Like if you're on a train or a fucking plane, it doesn't matter. It sucks.
And the couple times I went up to use the bathroom, it wasn't to use the bathroom per se. It was just so I could
get the fuck away from people.
No, stand up and walk around back and forth because my body was just aching. Oh yeah,
it takes a lot out of you, man. Transatlantic flights suck. There's just no bones about it.
But I finally land there, and of course I fucked up going through customs because they got like this electronic thing. Mm-hmm. The main thing is because I had to take off my glasses. And I'm not like Velma totally, but it's hard for me to see because I'm nearsighted. So I was like, okay, take off your glasses, put your passport on here, and look into the camera. Mm-hmm. So I like do that, and I look closely enough so I see myself doing like. And unfortunately, you're supposed to like do this, then look forward. Did not do that. I just kept staring at it. Did not fucking take. So I was like, what do I do, ma'am? The woman, okay, just go over there, talk to that person. And I did. That was it. They just didn't ask why I was there or how long I was going to be. Just looked at my passport. Okay, you're good.
Yep, that's usually how that shit works.
UK security. And, one thing on my travels too, whether to Canada or UK, I've never had my passport stamped. Which is something I've always seen in movies. Like, they just do the...
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm really surprised that you didn't get it stamped in the UK.
Yeah, I was kind of looking forward to that, too, because it's like a badge of honor kind of thing. Like, look where all I've been.
Right, yeah. Well, mine's filled with weird stamps from going in and out of places. Yeah, so I'm surprised they didn't.
Nice. But, I get there, and the whole time, I mostly walked, or I took the London Underground. One time I took a bus. Mm-hmm. Very proud of myself for not using Uber.
Yeah.
Because my credit card at the moment is very high and not really using that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I used the London Underground. And one thing I just like immediately noticed as I'm like on my 1 hour trip from the airport to the area I was in. Mm-hmm. Borough, I think they call them. Not like districts, but boroughs. Boroughs, yeah. Borough. But I was just immediately taken in by the architecture. Mm-hmm. Because obviously we're America, our culture is everywhere in some way.
Yeah.
But English culture, British, is also there. Because, you grew up with like the music, movies, TV shows that take place in England, specifically London.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at like this old ass architecture on my way there. I'm just like immediately taking it.
Yeah, dude, it's always impressive to see that shit. It's cool.
Yeah, it's very impressive. And then when I get there, how should I put it? It wasn't like a culture shock where I'm like, just a fucking hick, wide-eyed, just looking at everything. But it kind of had, like, overall the architecture of everywhere I went throughout the week kind of had, like, a old, in-your-bones feeling to it.
Yes.
Even though I'm not really that English. Mine's all, Irish and German, Polish.
Mm-hmm.
Keep in mind, we're white Americans. We got everything. We can claim whatever we want.
Right.
And no one's going to really give a shit. But, yeah, I just had that feeling throughout my trip that made steady. And which is true, because when I was looking it up, talk about how London is one of the oldest cities in the world.
Yeah, dude.
And holy fuck, it's true.
Yeah, definitely. Those old cities, there's something about them, man. Because they were made at a time where, like, cars and trains and all that shit didn't exist.
Oh,
so
I got something for that, too. We'll get into that. So, yeah, I checked in my motel called the Bridge Motel, which this podcast is sponsored by. The Bridge Motel in London. Which the guy, admittedly, was a dick to begin with, but he kind of mellowed out during the week. And yeah, I got my own room and everything, which, as a guy who stays at hostels a lot, was very nice.
yeah, it's a nice change.
Yeah, I mean the bed was hard as fuck, but I was just so tired that I just dropped for like 5-6 hours of nap.
Yeah.
Then later on, I went to a punk rock show that night at a place called the Bird's Nest. Even then, that felt ancient in a way. Well, not ancient, but old, because I went to a punk rock show, and the performers they had there looked and sounded like the Sex Pistols. And let's put the debate to rest right now. Punk began in America. If you don't believe me, read a book called Please Kill Me, The Uncensored Oral History of Punk. And they describe how it went and how, like, England came after.
Yeah, definitely.
But I still got that feeling again while I was there, seeing these bands with their accents, like, especially their proper English accents, fucking A. Just being vulgar as fuck and rocking out.
Mm-hmm.
It was a good time. And, yeah, and when I ate there too, for the very first time, I'm talking with a dude. He asked me where I'm from, like, oh, America. He's like, really? You sound like you're Nordic. I got that twice when I was there. Two people thinking that I'm Nordic. Which give me great pleasure because, as I describe myself, I sound like I have Down syndrome. So I'm very proud to say that hopefully everyone they now think everyone in Norway sounds like they have Down syndrome. But so yeah, God, how do I condense this? I guess I checked out a lot of I guess the big touristy stuff. Like I went to Westminster Abbey, went to the Tower of London. I went to Abbey Road Studios, which, to comment on Abbey Road Studios, the area where it's in, all Beatles memorabilia, all around, even the train station. Like how you went to Amsterdam, there's drugs all around. In London, it's Beatles all around. And when I get there, all American and Asian tourists. Mm-hmm. And they're all trying to do the iconic walk.
Of course. And
the locals fucking hated them. Each time they would do that, the locals would stop and just air the fucking horn.
It's gotta be irritating.
Oh yeah, they probably hate that area. Mm-hmm. And I talked to a couple who were from Tennessee. And they were legit here. They were kidding me. They're like, you think one of the Beatles is around here? I'm like, oh, good one. No, I mean, we came here. You think they'll come out and meet us? I'm like, yes, Paul and Ringo are just hanging out around here ready to meet you.
Oh my God.
And they also told me that one of their people they came with got sick on the plane and had to go to the hospital or something. Huh. They're like, well, it's fine though, because they got free healthcare here. I'm like, I got some news for you. they do, but that's for citizens.
Yeah.
They will charge you here. Like, really? I'm like, yeah. Well, I thought it was all free. I'm like, well, it's universal for citizens. I had to, like, explain it to them. Then they got all worried. Like, well, you think our health insurance will work here? I'm like,
No, it will not.
give it a shot.
Oh, God.
And worst of all, is like they also said they were here for like some. I'm not a baseball fan, so I don't know the entirety of it. But I guess like the Yankees and the Red Sox were there, play like a inter.
I actually watched
game?
a video about this.
Yeah, some kind of like inter-country game or some shit.
They're trying to make London one of the like regular team locations in
like
Major League
it was a
Baseball.
special game.
Yeah, they play like 4 of them a year now, and then they're trying to do 8 a year, and then eventually have like a home team.
Yeah, so at first I didn't think anything of it, but the next day I'm walking around Westminster because the Westminster district, let's call it the district, because that's where I was closest to, so that's where I spent a lot of time. What do I see when I'm walking around? Fucking people in Yankees jerseys and hats. I'm like, God damn it, I came here to get away from you fucking assholes.
Yes.
Now I gotta see this? God damn it. But, yeah, another favorite thing is that being a true crime guy that I am, I went to Whitechapel, which is known for Jack the Ripper, probably the greatest serial killer of all time. Well, especially not in body count, but just in like fame and that.
Lore, yeah.
And yeah, lore. And you're talking about the streets there, like how ancient they are. This is where I first learned it because I went to the Jack the Ripper Museum, which is very impressive. Though they kind of they didn't go on like the royal conspiracy, but they leaned on the theory that Jack the Ripper is like an educated man in a way. Right. You know, like he had his own room, and he had like medical stuff, and like he went out to satisfy his sexual and medical curiosities, which may be true.
Yeah.
I fall more into the theory that he was a resident or somewhere around there.
Ah, shit! Woo!
Thank you.
Sorry.
No, that basically he was a resident of Whitechapel, he lived around there, he was somehow familiar. He was just as poor as everyone else, which everyone was dirt poor, even poorer than what we are now. And that he was a... Thank you. Blow your brains out by not sneezing. No, and that he was a psychopath. And the reason I say is because last podcast on the left, my favorite podcast, they did a series on Richard Chase, a.k.a. the Vampire Sacramento. Complete psychopath, nut job, was not in control of his actions. Like, he literally did not know what he was doing. He was cuckoo.
Yeah.
But when they caught him, they were searching his apartment. They found, like, medical books and shit like that. So, he may have been insane, but he knew human anatomy. And, like, Jack the Ripper, he, like, would, like, take out, like, organs and shit.
Yeah.
And that's what Jack did. And even they compared Jack the Ripper to Richard Chase, but they claimed he was, like, more cunning and more intelligent. Because Richard Chase, besides being a nut job, is pretty fucking stupid.
Right.
And a big drug user. So I'm of the theory that he was a poor psychopath who had an interest and medical knowledge, and that's why he killed them. It was like able to take their uteruses and their hearts and that.
Yeah.
You know, he wasn't like a medical doctor or anything.
Just interested.
Yeah. Just interested. That's one way to put it.
Passing
So
interest.
anyway, I went to the museum and I decided to try to give myself a Jack the Ripper tour, like walk around to all the spots. Holy shit, it was fucking hard because one, despite looking it up on like Google and all that, they didn't have like a maps or anything, which really surprised me.
Yeah.
But also because the streets are old as fuck. Like, they were made originally for like donkey carts and horse carriages and shit. And they kept it like that. So it was really old and small, these streets, and hard as fuck to navigate, even with the internet.
Yep.
Yeah, Doug Stanhope has a great joke where he's talk about that. And he's saying like Hitler did his best. You know, he bombed the fuck out of London. And what did the English do after he bombed the fuck out of their city? They said, "Fuck you, Hitler. We are going to build our streets exactly like they were before."
Yep.
Ugh. So yeah, in some alternate universe, London has streets that make sense.
Like in a grid pattern like New
Yeah.
York.
Yeah. That you can easily navigate. So that's when I first noticed just how fucking fucked up the streets in London and all over were.
Yeah.
And even when I went to like busier areas like Soho, like they had, which was a huge Soho district, is also another, like Whitechapel, another old legendary area.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you ever see like pictures of like those blue plaques that they have, like this person lived here. And
Yeah.
they were all over there, like Shelley and Marx and all that.
Yeah, dude.
And,
Southampton is
yeah.
very well known for that stuff.
Yeah, Soho had like 3 different districts. No, 4. Entertainment, fashion, gay district, and the Chinatown district.
Okay.
And it was like literally one street, one street, one street, one street. It was jam-packed. It was even more jam-packed than like some areas of Chicago that I've been to. But, and I would see cars try to drive through, and they some of them, like, even the smallest ones, barely fit these streets.
Yep.
And I'm like, God damn.
Yep.
And, so yeah, I did a lot of that. I didn't even stay out all that late, actually. Because I was just spending the whole day walking around, doing this and that, so I was tired. But that's kind of a good thing, because as far as I know, a few places stay open, but the majority of London shuts down at midnight on the dot.
Mm-hmm.
You know how, like, around here we go till 2?
Yeah.
In, like, place Chicago, they go to, like, 4, 5, 6 in the morning even.
Mm-hmm.
Nope. Everything shuts down at midnight.
Yep.
I know this because I was walking around, like, my first night there. Looking around, it was, like, a little past midnight. Looking around. Where the fuck is everyone?
Yep.
And, so everyone, like, kind of starts partying early, like 5, 6 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
And they gather around all the pubs and all the public houses. And these places are ancient, too. And they all have similar names. Like, I must have gone to, like, 3 or 4 different Red Lions. All around London. Oops. But, yeah, everyone, like, hangs out. And you can't smoke inside, but, like, you can smoke, like, right outside.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like in America where it's like, here's this area that we corded off.
Yeah.
You can't be this far from the door. No, right out there. Best of all, everything was so close. I guess the police don't care. People are literally just walking around with beer from like different pub to different pub.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, you cannot do that in America. They would bust your teeth in for that. But no, just people just casually walking around from pub to pub with the same glasses.
Mm-hmm.
And the food there. It's bad.
Oh, is it?
The food is, okay, it's not bad, but it's English and it's bland.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Like, there's a meme that I saw that where it's like Brexit exemplified. And it showed like all these foods from like Italy and France and all that in one corner. Then in the other corner had UK and it was just like beans.
Yeah.
And I was there, and I just like since I was visiting all these pubs, I ate pub food.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of it was like typical stuff like your soups and lasagna and burgers. I got so fucking sick of it after a while. I finally ate at McDonald's.
Yep.
I checked myself in, and I quoted, who's that one chef that yells at people all the time?
Gordon Ramsay.
Yeah, him. And he's like, delicious. Finally, some good fucking food. It was true. It was good fucking food because I was eating pub food the entire fucking time.
Yeah. McDonald's is stable and predictable.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't any different over there too, except for like prices and that.
Yeah.
And in that same area that I went to the McDonald's, it's called Piccadilly Square.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically London's version of Times Square.
Yeah.
Kind of like how in Toronto they had Dundas Square, which is their version of Times Square.
Mm-hmm.
All these countries have like their version of Times Square.
Yep.
So
Or is it Times Square is a version of all the European city centers?
No, actually it is. I looked it up.
Oh, okay.
Wikipedia. Yeah. But yeah, so that was bumping. Like everything shut down at midnight, but everything beforehand is just bumping crazy amounts of people.
Yeah.
It was nice. Oh, I did have some homeless dude try to sell me something in cellophane. I couldn't tell what it was. It was either crack or meth.
Some kind of drug.
And he just came up to me like, "Hey man, you want this?" He just holding out the cellophane. I'm like, "No, I'm good." And English accent. So I was like, "Oh, would you like to buy this?" No.
Yeah, I don't know where I would go for my next international experience. I don't have anything that's like way high on my list, but like I also feel like a drive to go on another trip. I think I'll travel alone next time. I just don't know where I think I might go to Iceland. I want to go somewhere where I can take a lot of pictures, and just kind of mellow out, walk around, and be in my own space.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, 2 other things with London here. Well, 3. I did see protests in Westminster, because that's where the Parliament and all that is.
Sure. And
Now-
wasn't there something going on while you were there too? Some type of political action other than Brexit?
Well, not really.
Okay.
I mean, there's like pro and anti-Brexit protests.
Mm-hmm.
The pro one, their big chant, "No Brexit." It's not like here in America where it's like, whose streets? Our streets. This is what democracy looks like.
Mm-hmm.
No, their chants, "No Brexit." So there's a lot of that. There's the pro-Brexit crowd, and it's pretty much like the right-wingers here in America.
Mhm.
Less militant, though. Meaning they're not rocking guns and like camo and
Open
shit.
carry and tactical pants.
Yeah. I did see Downing Street, where the Prime Minister lives.
Mm-hmm.
That's where Boris Johnson, is that his name?
Yep.
That's the thing. When I got there, Boris Johnson just became it because Theresa May quit, pretty
Mhm.
much. And yeah, that's where like basically these places, like the palace and that, they have royal guards who like dress up in the weird shit.
Sure.
But on the side in like the shadows, you got like the local police and guards with like the body armor and the big automatic weapons.
Yeah, I'm familiar.
Yep, and that's what Downing Street had. They had the gate, and behind the gate you could like see like this little nice neighborhood. And of course in front of it is just all these guards just packing heavy heat,
Mhm.
while all of us tourists are like trying to look around and take pictures. Like, "Oh, Boris Johnson, come out."
You think Boris Johnson's gonna come out and say hi?
Yes, he can come out and say hi.
Is there any members of Parliament around here?
Yeah, is Jeremy Corbyn gonna come around? I'll get to him in a sec. But so yeah, another political thing is that my very last day in London, I abstained from eating pub food, but there's one thing I did not try. I saved it for that time: fish and chips.
Okay.
So
I thought you were gonna say the full English breakfast.
oh shit, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
No, so I go into this pub. Maybe it's called the Red Lion. There's a lot of Red Lions. They all claim to be the original from like 14, 15, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I get fish and chips. This is my first time actually eating this because I'm not like a big seafood guy.
Right.
I'm like, okay, let's try this. It's famous. Eat it. I'm like, God, they hyped this up way too fucking much.
Yep. Fried fish and French fries.
And of course, I'm drinking. And I go outside after that. I'm like, okay, I'm going to finish my beer outside because during all this time, due to like me being tired and that, I didn't like stay out that much and like drink with the people.
Mm-hmm.
So I go out there, I'm just drinking my beer, and there's police that have, like, blocked off the street there. So I asked the dude next to me, I'm like, is there, like, a parade or something going on? This guy, first of all, he has a beret on. Which, over there is, like, how you identify if you were once part of the military. Mm-hmm. Kind of like how now you got, like, the hats that say, like, you know, Vietnam.
Yeah, I know what you mean, totally.
So I just wanted to ask this guy, like, hey, why is this place closed? No, he got into a conversation with me, and this is what he said. He was a soldier, a former member of the military, and apparently he didn't make it very clear exactly, but his unit, he didn't make clear whether he was, like, there that day or if he was off. His unit were the members of the military that did the Bloody Sunday massacre in Ireland.
Okay.
And you see, Theresa May, before she resigned, wanted to prosecute guys like him who took part in this massacre. I mean, U2 did a great song about that, so listen to that.
Right.
But basically, you know how here in America we had the Kent State massacre?
Mm-hmm.
This was like kind of their equivalent. Just unarmed protesters getting mowed down by the military.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy was pissed off about that. And he let me know, and it became a very intense conversation. Like to the point where I'm like, oh God, I gotta watch what I say or else this guy's gonna beat the fuck out of me.
Mm-hmm.
Then he's letting me know, he's like, you know what's going on across there? Because of course there's a different cop across the street. I'm like, no, why? Well, the street was blocked off because, it's so British. Because over there were soccer hooligans. But they were pro-prosecution soccer hooligans. meaning basically they belonged to the soccer club, they were fans of it, and they believed in prosecuting these guys who carried out this massacre. He fucking hated them. He's like, those fucking cunts, you know, I served this country, and you see that guy? And he pointed to another guy with a beret. I'm like, yeah? Well, you see, he's my brother in arms, but he also believes in prosecution. If I was over right now, I'd punch him in the fucking face.
Oh my God.
And apparently the cops were there because they thought this pro-prosecution soccer hooligans were getting day drunk, were going to start a riot. And then over there was also like 3 people with Make America Great Again hats.
Oh boy.
And I thought, like, oh, God damn it, fucking Americans wearing that bullshit. So embarrassing, like the Yankee clothing.
Right.
I don't know which is more embarrassing. So I'm like, well, wait, why are those people wearing that? He's like, oh, that's because, you know, here we love Trump. He really cares about your country. I'm like,
oh, wow.
And keep in mind, I was kind of scared of this guy. So
Sure.
He was like, you don't believe that? I'm like, sir, with all due respect, as an American, I know my president. And he does not care like you think.
Yeah.
Just as how, you know, I don't know. And I kind of like try to relate, like, you know, just as how I don't know Boris Johnson or Theresa May like you do. He's like, yeah, you're right. That's very fair. And he hates all of them, by the way. He hated May, he hates Johnson. Mm-hmm. He hates Jeremy Corbyn, who, as we see him, he's kind of like their equivalent to Bernie Sanders.
Right.
Each time he described them, they're all a fucking disaster. So it kind of mellowed out after that, because he's like, yeah, it's great. You see, we can have a conversation. I'm like, yeah, we can. And I'm thinking like,
I'm also terrified.
I'm very terrified that you're going to beat the shit out of me.
I'm scared of you, sir.
Because I do believe you should be prosecuted for that shit. And you're completely wrong about Trump. So it ended with me not getting my ass kicked. And he did say that he has a daughter that like lives in Nevada. So he was going to visit in August, actually, and go on like a big Western trip around the United States.
See, and that right there is the exact reason why, like, I try to be super respectful when I'm in another country, because I'm basically relying on everybody else's help. And, like, I know that at some point, like, I'm going to run into a tourist in the United States, and it's like, yes, I will help you get to the train station. Like, yes, I will show you where you can take a shit for free. Like,
Yeah.
Like, it's those basic things that you need when you're traveling that it's like you don't think about until all of a sudden you're in another city and you're like, dude, where do I take a shit?
Yeah,
You
I
know?
did meet one other American. She was actually like really hot chick that I was kind of disappointed that I didn't get to know. Because I was walking back to my motel after midnight because everything shut down. So they got bedtime there, I guess. And she asked me like, hey, you know where any diners are? I'm like, no, I think everything's shut down. Really? Like, yeah. But you didn't know that? No, I'm from America. I'm like, really? Same here. And she just kind of went off into the wilderness. Yeah, so that was my trip. I gave the big events. I got so many other stories and little shit. Like visiting Highland Cemetery where I visited Karl Marx's grave, Douglas Adams' grave. Just an ancient cemetery too. Again, it was you could feel it in your bones, I guess.
Yeah.
And I guess it's also haunted with a vampire there or something.
Perfect.
Fucking awesome. But yeah, that was my trip. And afterwards, this was my most active summer ever because I knew when I would get back, I would start getting depressed, like I do after all these week-long trips.
Sure.
So yeah, from then up until the end of August, I was just spending every week somewhere swimming, mostly up in northern Michigan, in Traverse and that, because our water around here is very polluted. And
yes, it is.
that's a whole nother topic. So I did a lot of that. And how did my summer end? I got fucking sick.
Nasty.
Yeah, I had a big fever on Labor Day weekend. I had to cancel my plans to spend it in Chicago. I had spent the entire weekend just sweating, shitting, shivering.
Oh, that sucks, man.
Yeah. And then I went back to work, though. And I had to tell my boss, hey, I was sick. I'm still having bathroom problems. But then I took the next day off because I was so exhausted from working. But then I noticed when I got up that day that my left breast hurt. Anything that touched it, it's just instant pain. When I take a shower, I get out, and it's all bloated and hardened and red. I'm like, holy shit. And I go to urgent care. Turns out I have a tit infection.
Oh no, an infected tit.
Yeah, it was. So that's probably how the fever started. There was a fever,
yeah.
then it settled in.
Huh.
So basically they took care of it by cutting my left tit open and squeezing whatever pus and shit was out of it. And they tried to numb it, and it didn't work. I couldn't feel the cutting, but anything else was just gripping the bed pain. While the doctor the whole time was so sensitive. The nipple area is so sensitive. While I'm
sure is, asshole.
Yep. So then he did that, and he gave me a doctor's note, so I was able to get out of getting in trouble that week at work. And I went on antibiotics for a week. They got back to me on Saturday with the lab results, and it said that I had staph bacteria.
Great.
Yeah, staph infection, pretty much. I have no idea how I got it. I think it was my parents visited the week before. We went and visited my aunt and uncle who were in Grand Haven. They got a boat there.
Yeah.
It was too cold to swim in the Great Lakes where we're at, so we decided to swim in the river there, which was fucking filthy fucking river. That's probably how I got it.
Probably. Could be.
God.
Yeah, that sucks, man.
So there you go. I went to London. I went swimming in a bunch of places to stave off the depression, and it worked. And then my epic summer ended with a tit infection.
Tit infection. Yeah, dude, I didn't do anything but work for the entire summer. I worked 100-hour weeks from March to all the way through to the beginning of September. And then I took a weekend off on Labor Day weekend and went up north to take some pictures. I tried to get pictures of
your Labor Day
Aurora
was
Borealis.
Aurora Borealis.
Yeah.
In this location, condensed specifically.
Yep.
Okay, I'm fucking up The Simpsons.
Yeah, I slept in the back of my truck. That was kind of uncomfortable. It's coffin-like. But yeah, no, I did not get sick, thankfully.
You did not get a tit infection.
I did not, but I had an infected sweat gland in my armpit once, and I had like a sweat gland get nasty and like stick out of my armpit. It looked like a little fist coming out of my armpit.
Nice.
Same thing, they had to lance it and drain it, and I
Yeah.
took antibiotics and shit.
Yeah, so it's all good. It's all healed up, but
Good.
as I notice whenever I tweak my nipples, I'm hoping it's not forever, but it's not totally numb, but it's not as sensitive as my other nipple. It doesn't like get hard or anything.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really hoping that's temporary.
Right? Can't be having a numb nipple, a half-numb torso.
Yeah, and I have a new friend. Let's call her that.
Slick.
So it's going to be very disappointing if we're fooling around. She's like, why is this not getting hard?
Right?
I'm like, oh, God.
Better than some other things not getting hard, though, right?
I guess so, but still, it's like, God damn it.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have swam in that fucking river. I did meet, just as you met one of your heroes, I did meet one of mine last Monday. I saw Doug Stanhope.
Yeah, I saw pictures.
I know. And it kind of leads into the nipple here, because I got my picture taken with him. And this is kind of how, and first of all, his manager, Chaley, was kind of rushing everyone, which makes sense.
Yeah.
Did feel a little bit uncomfortable there. He's like, what do you want? I'm like, I want to get a picture for him to sign my book. Just the book? Yeah. Okay, go. So I wanted to like talk to him, like, Doug, it's great to see you again. He's like, hey, thanks. Shakes my hand. Wait, we talked before? You look familiar. I'm like, well, yeah, I met you like back in Lansing a couple years ago. You were touring with this guy. He's like, oh, whatever. Come here, you ugly motherfucker. and he gave me a hug. And he took the picture. And he decided to like grope the
your infected tit.
My previously infected tit.
This hurts me, sir.
In this very serious look. And he's like, there, I groped you, so you can't go how I me too'd you. And another thing too, he signed my book. Mm-hmm. And I had it there in the photo. And the only one that noticed it, because I shared it on the Doug Stanhope fan group, it got over 300 likes. My best post ever. Posted on my social media. And my dad, being the baby boomer that he is, he shared it. He got like 6 likes. No, only this new friend of mine, because I texted her the picture and everything. Only she noticed that I'm holding a book that says "Fun with Pedophiles." It's true. Doug Stanhope published a book in the mid-2000s called "Fun with Pedophiles: The Best Debating," where it's just like him with his chat. He used to go to like online chat boards and that. He would like pretend to be a 14-year-old girl or whatever. Then he would get all these pedophiles wanting to like hook up and like date him and everything. Weird. But then he would basically bait them and like say a bunch of disgusting stuff that a 14-year-old girl would probably never say. He'd be like, yeah, it's great. You want to hook up? Yeah. Yeah, when? Well, first I must know. Do you like fucking dogs?
Wow.
And basically he would see like how long he could get these chomos to like stay on. Like, would they be willing to put up with all this disgusting stuff just to fuck a 14-year-old? And that's what all the book was about. It's just composed of all his chats with them.
Wow.
It's a great book. It's hilarious. He self-published it, and his press was called Shake the Baby Press.
That's great.
He's got a memoir and essay book out now, and they're all published through legit publishers. So he really went up in the world there.
Well, we know it's hard to get a legit publisher, right?
Oh yeah, totally. I mean, you could possibly republish Fun with Pedophiles.
I could. I'd be happy to.
I know. So yeah, she's the only one that noticed that I had a book that had pedophiles on it. I talked to my mom earlier before I came here, and I told her that. She's like, "Yeah, it's probably not a good idea for your reputation to have had that photo taken with that book." I'm like, "Oh, come on, no one's fucking noticed it until now."
Right.
So yeah, that was out of Summers.
Have you seen? Have you seen the meme of like a 14-year-old girl with Jeffrey Epstein and like Trump is like whispering in her ear about to kiss her? Like, I don't know if it's photoshopped or not or whatever, but I wouldn't be surprised if it is not.
So, Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah.
Gone too soon.
Well,
rest in peace.
I can't be crying about a dead fucking sexual predator.
Well, as we all know, Jesus loves everyone, forgives everyone. Which means Jeffrey Epstein is in heaven right now. He's in a better place.
Yeah, hanging out with Hitler and...
Yeah. Jesus forgives everyone.
Yeah.
So, for real though, so you think he killed himself or was he murdered? Oh, that blow.
I don't know, man.
Open your third eyes at
He was on suicide watch, and then they just sort of left him alone. So, I mean, there's that. But I think you could make a pretty good case that he was murdered. There's a whole lot of fucking famous people. Like, not famous people, but, like, important people. And, like, someone gave him, like a $600,000 home or something like that? Yeah, dude, there's some serious interest in that guy not talking.
Yeah, I do think he was murdered, but I have my own theory. I don't know who hired her exactly, but I'm pretty sure Courtney Love killed him.
Okay.
I mean, she got away with killing Kurt Cobain.
It's true.
And
there was, like, a connection there, though. Like, wasn't she in one of his black books or something like that? Like...
Oh, I'm kind of ruining the joke here.
Okay.
No, she killed him because after she killed Kurt Cobain, she didn't hire El Duce or anyone else. She did it herself.
She sure did.
She discovered that she was really good at killing people and thought, I'm going to go into business. So there you go, everyone. You know, when you're blaming the Clintons or the Trumps for Epstein's death, Courtney Love congratulates herself on another job well done.
Yes, indeed.
Okay, for real, though. I don't know, dude. For real. I would say murdered because of how connected he was in that.
I think you could make a pretty good case that he was murdered.
But then again, the suicide watch and being as in the area of the prison that he was in,
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of pedophiles kill themselves in prison.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah. But he's also famous.
Yeah.
And they said stuff like, oh, they heard screaming in there. Which I'm like, yeah, that could be a one for murder. But he could have been such a big of an asshole that... Oh, I noticed this too, because there are some... As I've read suicide notes, like, online and that. Some websites like that. And there's some where, like, people have, like, straight up blamed others. Like, this is your fault that I'm doing this.
Yeah.
So I could see him, like, trying to make his death out to be a murder. Like, he's like, okay, I gotta set up. Now do the scream as I jump off. Ah! Yeah, so, like, he wants to get back at people. I make it look like he got murdered.
I don't know. It's a weird world, man. We'll never know. The guy's dead.
I don't know. Or is he? They could have cloned him and then killed the clone and then speared him away to some other pedophile island that we don't know about. Or he could not have existed in the first place. Yeah. If you consider that Jeffrey Epstein was always a hologram. That he was like the greatest deep fake ever conceived. You know what? The moon. We all know the moon's a hologram. The Twin Towers were a hologram. Why not Jeffrey Epstein?
What's the android company in Blade Runner? It's manufactured by Tyrell Corp.
Yeah. Like, the guards went in there and, like, oh my god, he killed himself. They go there and they untie him. And instead of seeing, like, a gash, they just see circuitry going out. Like, we can never tell anyone. No, then literally Chelsea Clinton appears behind them with a gun saying, you will never tell anyone.
I thought you were going to say Chelsea Manning.
No. She's one of the good ones. No, Chelsea Clinton took over her mom's position as head assassin. She's wearing like the fucking slick jumpsuit. She kind of looks like Catwoman.
Right, Uma Thurman and Kill
Yeah,
Bill.
Uma Thurman and Kill Bill, yeah. Because she takes orders directly from her mother. Her mother sadly cannot do the assassinations herself like she used to.
Mm-hmm.
Adrenochrome.
She's got a bad back.
Yeah, adrenochrome is
Keeps
not
fainting.
Yeah, the adrenochrome is no longer working like it used to.
Or the stem cells drunk
Exactly.
immediately out of the spinal fluid of broken.
Yeah, see, that's why
babies.
she's pro-abortion, because she needs those stem cells to keep going. Oh, God. We are so silly.
Yeah. Chelsea Clinton.
Alright, you want to get on some more local stuff?
Yeah, sure.
So, bro, I heard that they banned flavor vaping around here.
They sure did.
Did you hear about
Yeah,
this?
fucking Gretchen Whitmer.
I know. And while I don't agree with one commenter that claimed, like, we thought Rick Snyder was bad. I'm like, listen, this is shitty, but
Well, it's
Whitmer has yet to poison an entire city.
right. That's true. But honestly, dude, it's pretty fucking transparent because her third highest campaign contributor was R.J. Reynolds or like Philip Morris, one of the big tobacco.
Oh yeah, that was the
companies.
big difference between her and my boy Abdul El Sayed, who I still follow. I hope he runs for some kind of office. Is that like Bernie? You know, he did not have corporate backing at all.
Yeah.
Gretchen Whitmer, like Hillary Clinton, has all the corporate backing.
Sure does. Yeah, no, I think it's fucking disgraceful. Like, how is it that literally a couple of people die? Like, here's the thing. So my buddy upstairs here, Greg McChesney, was one of the people to die from EEE, the equine encephalitis thing that's going around. So, like, why can't we fucking ban...
recently?
Yeah, like 2 weeks ago. He fucking dropped dead out of, like... We knew the guy, talked to the guy, he got bit by a mosquito, and now he's fucking dead.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, dude, honestly, it's tragic, right? And it's like, why don't we do something about that instead of mobilizing all of our forces to fucking ban e-cigs? Like, so they say that children are being marketed to and consequently dying from these bootleg cartridges.
I mean,
right?
to purchase, you have to be like 18 and older.
Exactly. Like, I even still get carded when I'm buying this shit.
Oh yeah,
you know?
I'm sure there's some shitheads that do sell children.
Of course.
It's not widespread.
No, and is banning it gonna stop that? No. Clearly it will not.
Well,
Like, I can drive to fucking Indiana, I can drive to Illinois, I can purchase the shit online and
that's
order
the thing.
it. You know?
That's the only real way you can get it now, because, well, you just mentioned ordering online. No, they made that illegal too. You can't order it through the mail.
Oh, God.
You have to, like, go get it yourself, then, like, pretend you're, like, Harriet Tubman, but for vaping.
Well, I mean, my plan is to just fucking stop smoking, you know? Like, that's what I want to do. That's what I would like to do.
Well, I mean,
But
you're not going to do, like, the tobacco flavor vape.
I'd rather not. They're nasty. That's the problem here. Like, that's why there's a market for flavorful e-fluids, because the tobacco flavorings taste like butthole.
Yeah.
They're disgusting. Like, this is my preferred one. This is Cybermint. It's a mixture of menthol and, like, a sweetened mint flavor.
Well, like, this size you have, like, how long will this last you?
Like a week and a half. It's
Really?
yeah, it's like 100 milliliters, I think.
Damn, you really do.
Yeah,
vape.
100 milliliters.
You really do vape a lot, then.
I do.
I'm
Yeah.
about to say that could probably last me if I vape like well over a month.
Yeah, it's a lot. I mean, I probably buy 2 or 3 of these a month, you know. But like, I used to smoke 2 packs of cigarettes a day, and I don't do that anymore. So I'm actually.
Well, maybe you should do it.
No, I should. Well, you know, if you listen to Gretchen Whitmer, it's a fucking better alternative. Like, that's the problem, is that this is supposed to be like a smoking cessation product, and then when people started marketing it thusly, everybody got all up in arms, and it's like, well, it's not a safe alternative to cigarettes. Yes, it fucking is, man. It fucking is a safer alternative to cigarettes. It's not fucking bullshit marketing. Like, you're not inhaling these materials that combust and end up forming literally toxic gases. Like, sure, it's probably not very good to vaporize propylene glycol and coat your lungs with it.
Well, yeah,
but
if you really think about any type of thing that's not oxygen is bad for you.
Exactly, yeah,
Tobacco
clearly.
is bad. Weed is bad.
Yep.
Vape is bad.
Exactly.
Hell, those whatever shit that's currently in the air right now
Yep.
is probably bad for you.
Dude, as an adult making an adult choice to purchase a product that I know is harmful for me, fuck the government for trying to fucking stand in my way.
You see, we thought Rick Snyder was bad, but if Rick Snyder was still in office, he'd be ripping fat clouds right in the state capital.
Well, you could also take the small business angle. Like, there's, 100 vape shops in every major city in Michigan. Like, they're all gonna have their bottom line destroyed. Like,
well, yeah, and you see, this is why, like, I've voiced many times how I'm glad weed is legalized, but I also have my fears of it. Shit like this is why fear is, like, they will find one excuse and then, boom, weed is criminalized again.
Yep, and I'm so tired of governments or oversight committees just making decisions that prevent you from just expressing your fucking life the way that you want to, right? Like, is it so bad that I want to suck on some fucking flavored nicotine juice? Like, is that so bad, that it needs to be fucking banned? Like, don't sell children jewels, and people who sell children jewels should be fucking prosecuted because it's illegal to sell minors fucking things that adults are supposed to be able to purchase. But just blanket banning something, like, seriously, fucking 10 people die from bootleg e-cig cartridges and you're gonna ban everything, but there's like an entire community of people that are fucking poisoned from lead being in the pipes. Or, like, what about cigarettes? Why not fucking ban the sale of cigarettes? Like, so many fucking Americans and Michiganders die from fucking cigarettes and smoking cigarettes every day for their life. Like, why don't the things that are actually harmful get fucking banned? It's like, why are you gonna just choose this because?
Well, who's sponsoring that politician?
Yeah, it's the fucking big tobacco companies, so they can continue to sell cigarettes.
So the only solution here I can think of is that for these small businesses to start sponsoring politicians. So yeah, dude, next time you run to Fred Upton, make an offer.
Not spit in his face.
Yeah, don't do that. Number one,
right?
Not a good way to start a business deal, but
no.
Slip him some. God, who's on the $20 bill?
Andrew Jackson.
Yeah, slip him a couple jacks and say, like, Elmblad Media Group wants to make a deal with you.
If I was gonna bribe someone, I would at least start out with hundreds.
Hey man, I was just thinking about what we can afford here.
Right.
Fuck Pfizer. Get with the Elmblad Media Group. Right. Actually, yeah. Even before this, Gretchen's done some fucked up shit, like trying to shut down a big public school in Benton Harbor, which is a very poor, mostly black community.
Yes.
Yeah, that hasn't really worked out well for him. Like, hey, it's kind of our school, big thing. Like, nah, it's not up to code. Shut that shit down.
Yeah.
It's like, and remember, she like the other candidates ran on the whole, well, I'm pro public schools. I'm not for charter schools where, like, Rick Snyder is. Blah, blah, blah. Then she gets in office. Hey, let's shut down this fucking public school. I don't think it happened, thank God. But I'm like, when I saw that, I'm like, are you fucking serious? Like,
yeah, I'm pretty sure that this e-cig ban is just going to get fucking lawsuited into the ground.
Yeah, I don't see it lasting long.
Neither do I.
Couple months, maybe until next year.
Yeah, no, that's what I was telling them. Because, like, everybody in the Netherlands is asking us about this e-cig ban because it broke, like, 3 days before we left. And, they're, like, sucking on their own e-cig. Like, hey, man, this allowed me to stop smoking a pack of cigarettes every day and, like, fucking destroying my lungs. Like, why would you ban it? And I'm like, it wasn't me. Here's my vape.
Oh,
like,
God. Last summer when I was in Toronto for my week-long summer vacation, I had a few Uber drivers talk to me about our marijuana policy here in the States because they were just like, I think they just just then, made it legal nationwide.
Yep.
So they're like, what's up with your country? I had to explain the whole state thing, because I was like, listen, here in America, this is kind of how it happens. Shit becomes legal state to state, but then some fucking bullshit goes on that just makes it inconvenient for everyone.
Yeah.
Like, look at gay marriage, for example. Like, basically, I think gay marriage, if I remember right, gay marriage became legal nationwide because 2 nurses moved here to Michigan, and they are basically told, we don't believe in that here, so your relationship is not valid, so we're not going to give you benefits that we would give married couples. Or, what the fuck? We got married in the States, legal. Not here, sorry. So they sued and went to, the Supreme Court, and then the Supreme Court's like, oh shit, we're going to have to pay these 2 lesbian nurses money. Right. Fuck it, make it legal nationwide. So I told them in America, shit has to get so fucked up that we just start suing the fuck out of the governments, and then they have to make it legal because they don't want to spend the money that they're taking from us.
Yeah, that's basically true. Yeah.
So yeah, I do believe in political action. I believe in resisting and voting for parties and politicians. I'm not decrying that at all.
Right. I will blow my vape fucking juice right in Gretchen Whitmer's fucking ugly face. Like, taste this cloud. It smells minty fresh, bitch. Fuck that.
Dude, Trump's thinking about doing it nationwide.
Fuck Trump, dude.
Blow it in Trump's face.
Right? Yep. But he's not going to do anything about fucking opioid deaths or fucking meth.
He wants to kill the drug dealers, so execute them. That's how we'll make America
What is this,
great.
fucking Colombia?
Funny you should mention that. No, wait. Is it Colombia? No. What's that one? God. My friend Andrew Joyce. Philippines, yeah.
Okay.
Philippines, that guy there, his policy, the president there, he kills all the drug dealers. Like, he has death squads out.
Great. Yes, just murdering people in the streets. That's gonna help.
And they both like each other. He's like, this is a good idea. Let's bring this over to America. Let's have roving death squads.
Perfect.
Which we kind of do have. We call them ICE.
ICE, yeah.
God, fuck
dude. ICE is definitely going to be, in retrospect, the fucking SS of the United States.
No jokes aside here. Fuck ICE. They are our brown shirts. If we had any sense of decency and justice, they would be destroyed, the entire thing. And everyone involved, from the management, to the politicians, most especially the stormtroopers, the people on the ground that are busting into people's houses, going to businesses, they would all be prosecuted for crimes against humanity.
Fuck yeah, dude. Absolutely. Yeah.
But that's not going to happen in America.
No.
Because this is America.
Yeah. Oh, man, it's really disgusting what's happening to people right now, man.
I know, and do you read that article where, I think it's both ICE and General Border Patrol are saying, everyone hates us.
Yeah, boo fucking who? You're a bunch of fucking assholes.
Yeah, you're fucking fascists. You're getting exactly what you deserve.
Precisely. I definitely agree with that. I don't like giving trolls credence, but I finally got trolled on Facebook by one of my old pro-military friends from high school, because I made a post of, it's like a guy wearing a t-shirt.
I think I saw that one.
Yeah, and he, I didn't engage, and this guy, he left fucking 12 comments on the thing, echo chamber in himself.
That's when you know you're dealing with a nut job, when they leave 2, 3, or more messages simultaneously.
Yeah, dude. Well, I mean, this guy and I have disagreed politically since high school, and have had many hours-long conversations about it. And he joined the military immediately after September 11th, and he couldn't, they wouldn't let him go early enough. But he shipped out to Alaska to go to basic training fucking 3 days after we graduated from high school. He was just gone, and he used to call me while he was on base. We wrote back and forth. When he was in country, he called me from Iraq. I supported this guy even though I disagreed with him, and I still consider him one of my friends, but he's gone off the like completely off the deep end.
Oh yeah, I know lots of people, including
Yeah.
family members,
Yeah.
my dad, who just when Trump took office, you can't have a conversation.
No.
You can't even joke with them.
Yeah.
'Cause they are just so trumped out.
Right, and this thing that I posted had nothing to do with illegal immigration. The T-shirt that the guy was wearing said, "Keep the immigrants, deport the racists."
Yep,
and if you just read that sentence, I 100% agree with it. I don't want those fucking people representing me and my like national identity. Like, I don't want to get questioned when I'm traveling abroad about why Americans are so xenophobic and why they fucking treat people of other races poorly.
Yeah,
like, I think it's fucking disgraceful, man.
Why are you putting children in fucking concentration
Yeah, it's fucking
camps?
ridiculous. I do not agree with that shit. Like, I want to fucking see ICE gone. Like, I want our immigration to be much more accepting. Like, we need more people here to do fucking work so that we can become a productive society again.
Well, somewhat. I would want to bring them in because, one, it's the right thing to do, especially because they're getting out of these countries that we've helped fucked up.
Yeah.
Like Venezuela.
Yep.
And
Guatemala.
Yep. Yeah, that's the thing too. It's good portion of it is our fucking fault. It's not the whole thing. Now we're pretending that they're invading.
Right.
It's like, God, fuck you. We're like, we destroy their countries and now they're coming here because coincidentally the Conqueror's the only place that's like safe. At least safer than them.
Yeah, relatively safe.
Yeah. But it's also, I guess, that view that, well, we need them just to come work. No, we should have them come in to live their life to the fullest.
Yeah, to be a member of our society.
The pursuit of happiness.
Right.
And not just like a workforce, because as we can see, they get exploited.
Yeah, well, and I don't think that that's right.
I totally. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not accusing you of anything.
Yeah.
I love you, brother.
Yeah, for sure, man. Likewise, and that's the thing too. Is like, you know, I love Zach too, the guy that was talking shit to me. Like,
wait, his name's Zach.
His name's Zach. Yeah.
Oh God damn it.
Well, like, you know,
don't you hate arguing with someone whose same name as you?
Yeah, well, he doesn't spell it correctly like I do.
Oh, he's that kind of person.
Yeah, exactly. But no, I don't agree with him. But I don't want to fucking fight with him, especially not on goddamn Facebook. You know, if he disagrees with me, bring it up with me to my face.
But
you know?
come on, we all know that's where the most productive conversations happen is on Facebook.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like he's busy there arguing in this echo chamber, and it's like, dude, I'm literally posting this from another fucking country right now. Like, I'm a stranger in a strange land. I'm not trying to immigrate to this place, but I'm a fucking foreigner on their soil. Like, I can't hold these ideas and be
America,
here.
leave.
Right?
Which is not easy. Believe me,
No.
I've tried before. Mostly in Canada. But
Yeah, dude, they don't want us. We're fucking weirdos in the rest of the world. Fucking fascists. And fucking psychos. Like, people...
Among other things.
Among other things. Fat, gross, like, all the American tropes, like...
are true.
Yeah, there's a reason that people believe that
To
way,
quote
you
Metallica, you know it's sad but true. You see, I have to do this because if I were putting clips of that, I would just get immediately banned.
Deplatformed. Banhammer.
No, they would demonetize. Not that I have monetized shit, but still.
Yeah.
Well, I got one last thing I would like to talk about.
Alright.
Then we can kill this, because I think we're going at 3 hours.
Are we?
That's the thing.
Yeah.
You and I have like the longest podcasts.
I can talk. I'm a talker.
Same here. We will break Rogan's record, which I think is like 5-6 hours.
Yeah. 4.5.
Then again, that was like a live show I think he did
Mm-hmm.
of like election nights. He had like Doug Stanhope, Bill Burch, and Jeffrey.
Wait, wasn't that the 2012 show, like the End of the World show?
Oh wait, no, I think he did 2 of them. Like one
Okay.
for the election, one for the end of the world.
Yep.
Yeah, the end of the world one.
Yeah. Oh, I remember that, dude. So back then, in like 2011, leading up to 2012, like I watched a bunch of videos by this guy named David Wilcock, and like it was so funny because he had made a career for like 3 years about going around to different conferences and talking about how like consciousness was going to shift in the year 2012.
Well,
And then, like, 8 days after the May 12th or 2000,
Yeah.
whatever day it was, like, he just released all these statements about how it's, like, more of a symbolic thing, and, like, in the future, we'll look back on 2012 as, like, the point where consciousness shifted, and, like, he'll be, like, proven right as time goes on and stuff.
That was two things with 2012. Either it was full on apocalypse,
Yeah.
or then it was like, oh, it's not apocalypse, it's a conscious shift.
Yeah, dude.
I was like, oh, whatever.
Yeah, I just remember, like, digesting a lot of that guy's content and being like, what is this guy gonna think in 2 weeks when everything is fine? Like, and like, the world just continues to exist as it has been.
Oh, fair. Well, I guess very quickly before we get on to all this,
Yeah.
that Area 51 raid.
Oh, yeah, so I didn't see much about this, but actual people went there, right?
Yeah.
And actually got arrested?
Yeah, well, 2 people so far.
Okay.
Like, I guess it's somewhat still going on. Like, got some guys trying to Naruto run in there. Yeah.
I love the fucking internet, dude.
Yeah, some guy was just... I read an article, one guy was like... He's like, it's very underwhelming. This Facebook post says there'd be millions of people here. I'm like, you believe a Facebook post?
Yeah, you're a dingus. Ugh.
Yeah.
Have you ever been out there? Like, I drove near Roswell, New
Really?
Mexico on my fucking
That's
road
very
trip,
surprising.
yeah.
I thought you would, like, beeline that.
I'm fascinated with that shit, dude. But like we went we just drove by it, the little alien and all that stuff. Like, it's just kish shit. Like, it's like Route 66 fucking stops. Like, it's or like you get across the Mackinac Bridge and there's the mystery spot. Like, that's the same way that I always viewed this shit. Like, if there was hardcore alien tech in that place, it has been gone
what do you
60
what do you
years.
think is there today?
What do I think is there today? A government base where they test fucking planes because the desert is easy to land planes in.
I believe they make weaponry and surveillance.
Yeah,
there.
for sure, yeah.
There's no aliens.
No.
There were, they're long gone.
Exactly,
Well,
and that's my point on this. They were brought to Wright-Patterson immediately afterwards.
Well, first of all, I'll go through pictures. First of all, that one's been debunked. I think that was like some concert or something in 2014.
Okay.
And this one they suspect is because they think the tank and helicopter were photoshopped in.
Mm-hmm.
But these ones are real. Like, there they are right at one of the gates.
Mm-hmm.
There's a photo op. Notice that one guy has the North Korean flag there.
That's hilarious.
And one guy's like wearing a PewDiePie hat. Is the hat... No, not PewDiePie. Who's that one fucking asshole who, like, made a video where he was, like, in Japan's suicide forest?
Oh, I know who you're talking about. I don't know the name of the YouTuber, though.
Yeah, he sucks anyway, fuck him. He's wearing that hat. Number one. And favorite one is this guy wearing...
With a tinfoil hat.
Yeah,
I
and
love it.
He's got... First of all, it's a very shitty tinfoil hat.
Mm-hmm.
And he just looks very disinterested.
Yeah.
And I can't find the meme, but someone, like, zoomed in on him, then put, like, the things that's supposed to be exciting, like the wavy lines.
Yep.
And then put woke on there. More people. More.
Yeah.
That was really it. And yeah, people were very disappointed. And of course, I pretended that I took part in the raid. Like, my taking part in the Area 51 raid went far better than even what I expected. And I put this gif from the famous E.T. porno. Like, you know how today they got, like, porn parodies? Yeah. This is, like, before that all became... This was before this all became... This all became cool. So I found a gif of the guy fucking a woman in a horrible E.T. outfit. Because remember, the whole thing about this raid was first was like, let's go in. No, they can't stop us all. Mm-hmm. Then let's save the aliens. But then it evolved to let's clap those alien sheets.
Yep.
Like, you're gonna invade Area 51
and rape the fucking aliens.
Yeah, and basically just fuck a bunch of aliens with all these guards just not stopping. And see, like, here's a good meme from Dragon Ball. What you hope to find is this alien chick from, like, one of the Dragon Ball movies, but you actually find fucking Piccolo.
Right.
So, yeah, it was disappointing, of course, which you should have expected. Okay, let's get on to the real story here. What I want to see. Let's see. Come on. Where is it? Oh, very quickly. Ben Shapiro claimed recently that rap music wasn't music. So Talib Kweli, great Chicago rapper.
I have smoked weed in a room with Talib Kweli.
Oh, nice.
He's a nice man.
Well, he tweeted this out and claimed it was Ben Shapiro.
I saw that.
Yeah,
That's
where he's dressed up like he's in the Matrix. He's got a samurai sword.
Talib Kweli, man. Quality human being.
It's not him, but it looks like him. Okay, this is what I wanted to talk about. This takes place in Grand Rapids right now. We have an election coming up for a mayor. And the incumbent is Rosaline Bliss. And I honestly haven't paid much attention there, but she's been pretty good for the city.
Okay.
Well, a lot of people like her. And, well, she's basically going up against this local pastor. His name is, let's see, Daniel Schuelke, I believe. Schuelke.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not making fun of his name, people. I cannot pronounce it.
I think it's Schuelke.
Yeah. You look at it. How you pronounce that.
Yeah, Schuelke.
Basically, he's pastor of some local evangelical church. He's been described as like the type of guy who has like a shit ton of signs in his yard. That kind of guy. And this was put up by local comedian Mike Logan. He alerted me to the story. Basically, he described it as that Mayor Bliss is basically going up against a Bible.
A Bible?
A living, talking, breathing Bible.
You can just describe that and you know the type of person that you're dealing with.
So, MLive had each candidate answer a series of questions about themselves and their policy stances.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to read you Pastor Schuelke's answers. Oh, wait, right here. He spent 4 years as a pastor at Inner City Church Planning Mission. Let's see. He previously ran for the 75th District of the Michigan House of Representatives as a Republican back in 2018. And he lost against the Democrats. Okay, I'm only going to read you his answers for two reasons. One, they're most interesting, they make no fucking sense. And two, they're very short. Like, Bliss, whether you agree with her or not, gives out thorough, reasonable answers.
Mm-hmm.
He just gives out these short, little, insane... I'll just read them, okay?
All right.
First question. Why should voters elect you? Pastor, I would like to help all the citizens of Grand Rapids live a more happier, healthier, and productive life based on the principles given to us in God's Holy Scripture, the Bible. There you go. That's his answer.
Gross.
And, well, just to give... I'll show you right now. There's the size of their answers.
Right.
Okay, next one. And actually, I'll read you if elected, what your top three priorities be. Here's her top three priorities, Mayor Bliss: infrastructure and mobility, economic development opportunity, and parks, pools, paths, and playgrounds. That's what she wants to concentrate on.
All right.
Seems legit.
Yeah.
What does the pastor have? 1. To proclaim the glory and gospel of the Lord Jesus Christ, who's the only answer, air quotes, to every one of our problems and challenges.
No.
2. To address the number one civil rights. He does a lot of air quotes, by the way, so I'll just put air quotes. The number one civil rights, air quotes, issue of our day. The murder of the precious and unwanted children of Grand Rapids that may be destined to be destroyed through their murder, commonly referred to as abortion, air quotes.
Jesus Christ.
And the best one, his third one, to seek to make the city of Grand Rapids a, air quotes, sanctuary city for all unwanted children destined to be murdered through abortion.
Wow.
Well, first of all, I don't get what he means by that.
Right, what a vibrant fucking political platform.
Well, what does he mean by sanctuary for children destined to be murdered through abortion.
Well, clearly he wants to fucking start a child farm for Hillary Clinton to suck the fucking
that's a good theory.
Stem cells out of their spines.
That's a good theory. I have thought about that. And,
or Gretchen Whitmer, maybe.
And I think there is a belief among the right and Christians is that some women don't want to get abortion, but they're forced into it by like their boyfriends or by society or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess he thinks like women are being forced into it, and his policy, he would spirit them away to Grand Rapids, where they'll be a sanctuary. You know, like how with undocumented immigrants we have sanctuary cities?
Yeah.
Like, I think Lansing's the one here in Michigan. He envisions that, but for children who are just about to be aborted.
All right.
Okay, there's that. Or, like, literally, he would, like, take the fetuses out and, like, just have them around here growing up and living.
And
like it's literally a playground for
pods filled with fluid,
yeah,
so that they can form batteries.
Yeah, like grow up.
The machines.
Yeah, like the Matrix, but they'll grow up into happy Christians in Grand Rapids.
Gross.
So yeah, there's that. Okay, here we go. What will you propose to improve community police relations? It's pretty strained in Grand Rapids, particularly because our pigs like to put guns in the faces of young black children.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, they love doing that. I'm actually surprised they haven't blown any brains out yet. But Pastor Schuette's answer, I would promote more respect to our GRPD by introducing legislation that would make cursing / assaulting a policeman or woman a misdemeanor crime.
Fuck that.
So yeah, if you ever say fuck the police, yeah, they get to arrest you for that.
Wonderful.
Granted, that is a typical right-wing position.
It is, yeah.
Where it's like, basically, if you disrespect any authority, they basically want to kick your ass.
Mm-hmm.
All right. What would you... Here's another favorite of mine. What would you propose to address the city's current housing challenges? Here's his answer.
Oh, boy.
Educate in a personal way how any Grand Rapids citizen can acquire clean, adequate housing by following the principles given us in God's holy word, the Bible.
Gross.
So, in this whole world of gentrification, housing problems, slumlords, rent control, just pray to Jesus for some good housing.
Yeah.
You know how you and your children are on that wait list? Yeah, just pray and you'll go a little faster. Let's see. I think there's one more. The City Commission will soon consider changes to the charter that could expand the ward structure and or adjust when local elections are held. Would you support any of the proposed changes, and what value do you envision in doing so? His answer, his answer's all been short. It's the shortest one. What does he say to this very important, elaborate question? I would not support this change. And Rosaline Bliss, Mayor Bliss, has an entire paragraph of her belief on that.
Mm-hmm.
That was it. That is for Pastor Shuey's answers. Just Jesus is the answer to everything.
Wow, what an electable platform.
And that's the sad thing. Is Grand Rapids, we're slowly evolving.
Mm-hmm.
Like we have this whole conservative Dutch heritage, which is why shitheads like Betsy DeVos were able to come out of that.
Yeah.
And we're slowly getting out of that. But we're not going fast enough. Which is, as much as I'm joking right now, this motherfucker does have a good shot at becoming mayor of Grand Rapids.
Fucked up.
In any other community, including here in Kalamazoo, would never fucking happen. Be like, wait, what the fuck?
Right.
No, we're not. We're not good. Elect this living fucking Bible. Fuck him. In Grand Rapids, that's a good thing. We have a heritage of blah blah blah.
Yeah.
I mean, when I first moved to Grand Rapids, I read an issue of the Grand Rapids Press while at work.
Mm-hmm.
And this was when Grand Rapids was declared Beer City, USA.
Okay, I remember this time.
And that whole thing was discontinued afterwards, so we're forever Beer City, USA. What does this one woman write? I'm so disappointed to see that we've been declared Beer City, USA. You know, we used to be called the city of many churches. Now we're the city of many breweries.
We're like the furniture city.
So disappointing. First of all, I never found any claim that said we were the city of many churches.
No.
I never found that. And two, that's how you see the culture change. You know, because we're a big craft beer city. You know, Founders is there and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
But no, this woman is just so sad that there's not enough churches like they're used to. And there's plenty of churches around there.
Yes, there
still are. Ugh. So yeah, folks, Grand Rapids listeners, vote Bliss. I'm going to. Bliss is actual bliss. You will not get bliss with this fucking Jesus freak. fuck this guy. Go back to scamming people, you fucking grifter.
Ugh.
Ugh.
Yeah.
So yeah, 7:24, dude. Anything else you want to talk about?
No.
I think we've been going on for like over 3 hours now.
2 hours and 20 minutes.
Well, remember, we had to stop first because you had to ask your dad for a sandwich.
I'm going to go home and eat that sandwich, man.
Indeed, you will. Okay, dude, let's do some plugs.
All right. I don't have anything new coming out, but I will be at the Kalamazoo Potters Guild Christmas show. So I'm doing a lot of artwork right now and that I've got in the works that I'm going to premiere there. Konrad Twitty Band is kind of on hiatus right now, so we don't have any shows coming up.
Well, let's give out the links. Where can they find you online?
ZachElmblad.com or ElmbladMedia.com is a good place. I'm on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, which I never open. Yeah, there's my list of plugs.
All right. As always, you can find this podcast. Please mostly check it out through Anchor because I get paid now for the ad there. It's one of those systems where, like, kind of like Lulu, you have to build up the money until they release it.
Yeah.
So my limit is $15. I'm at like, I don't know, 8 cents or something right now. Keep clicking those links on Anchor, Spotify, Breaker, Radio Public. And of course, you know, this podcast on YouTube, Internet Archive. I'm thinking about putting on Mixcloud, I think it is. Okay. Basically, I'm looking for any website where it's free hosting. Yeah. Because I'm too fucking poor to put it on, like, someplace where I'll probably get more listeners, but it'll cost me. Mm-hmm. And, of course, check out my website, GarretSchuelke.tumblr.com. And my next book will be coming out in either November or December, Godin, Blood Harmony. But until then, check out the last book, Godin, Queen of the Third Coast. It's available on Amazon, Lulu, Barnes & Noble, Smashwords, Gumroad, and a bunch of other places I'm going to put up soon. Pay attention to my social media because I will pimp that shit out. Well, okay, I shouldn't say pimps because all sex workers should control their own stuff.
Yep.
And they should kill their pimps and madams because they're leeches. Kind of like this preacher guy that I just made fun of. Oh, and recently I was on a podcast. God damn it. I am going to make sure I get this right. Fuck. Hold on. Probably because I'm really tired, too, from doing a 3-hour podcast. I'm having a brain fart right now. Yep. Check it out. It's called Your Welcome Future Self Podcast. It's co-hosted by local comedian Bob Fredericks. And our first episode was a swap cast, and we basically geeked out about Doug Stanhope.
Nice.
And we may do another one. I got to plan it out with him. But it's up on Podbean right now, so check him out. And, yeah, just check out. It's called Your Welcome Future Self. And they literally just started. I think, like, our episode was, like, episode 3. So, good people. Check it out. Yeah. And that's all, folks. Thank you, Zach, for being on. Another long, epic podcast. Woo! Another one in the books. Yeah, summer's over. Fall's about to happen. Christmas.
Yep.
I'm not gonna say it's a bright future, but it's a future nonetheless.
Right. Well, so are we gonna have our traditional New Year's podcast as well?
Oh shit! Wait, we had a traditional New Year's podcast.
Yeah, didn't we? Don't we usually get together in January for like the year begins new season of
right.
powerful Garret Schuelke podcast?
I'm actually trying to stop doing that. not because I'm afraid of getting sued, but it's because like okay, it's run its course.
Fair enough.
But yeah, we should do that.
Yeah, I'm in.
I know I'll talk to you beforehand because you got to put together my next book.
Yes, indeed.
So we'll probably do something before that. So yeah, that's all, folks. I gotta get home. It's like 7:30 at night. Fuck. I got a shower too because I went to Chicago yesterday. Saw a Two Door Cinema Club. Awesome band. Fucking check them out. I haven't showered at all today, so
yeah,
tired.
I would be embarrassed to admit the last time I took a shower.
So don't do that.
I will not.
But you have a sandwich to get to.
I do.
And you probably have to counsel KC too from the sounds of it.
Oh yeah, young Kenton Charles is having some drama in his life right now.
And
He'll be all right.
And he moved here to Kalamazoo.
He did.
So yeah, welcome to Kalamazoo.
Yep.
Sucks.
It does suck. Yeah, I have a video proposal to write up to. Just fucking work shit.
All right.
Yep.
All right, we're done, folks. Have a good night, and here's the outro song.
Bye.